If you want to get whatever you want in life, it starts with one simple truth: you have to ask for it. But asking isn't enough. It's about how you ask, when you ask, and how you keep pushing forward even when things don't go your way. It's about taking bold actions, staying persistent, and knowing your worth. In this guide, you'll learn how to ask for what you deserve, how to overcome rejection, and how to stay consistent in the pursuit of your goals. You'll discover the mindset shifts and strategies that will help you build confidence, take bigger risks, and develop the discipline to go after your dreams, no matter how impossible they may seem. This isn't about waiting for opportunities to come to you. It's about creating those opportunities and having the courage to take them when they arrive. If you're ready to stop wondering why things aren't happening for you and start making them happen, keep reading. It's time to get what you want and start living the life you deserve. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Believe deeply that you deserve what you ask for. Most people walk through life waiting for permission, waiting for someone to tell them they are worthy, waiting for someone to hand them the life they dream about. But life does not work like that. No one comes knocking on your door, handing you success. No one shows up with a trophy just because you existed. Life responds to those who believe deeply in their right to ask. It responds to those who believe they deserve something better. You see, it starts inside. Before you ever ask the world for anything, you have to ask yourself a question. Do I truly believe I deserve what I want? Not just a little, not just when things are easy, but in every moment, especially when it's hard, especially when the world tells you no. If you don't believe you deserve it, your actions will show it. Your words will carry doubt. Your energy will be filled with hesitation. And people can feel that. They can sense when you are not sure. They can sense when you are begging instead of asking. They can sense when you are playing small because you don't think you are worthy of more. When you believe deeply that you deserve it, something shifts. Your voice becomes steady. Your eyes look straight ahead. Your body carries a calm strength. You are not asking from weakness. You are asking from certainty. And people respond to that certainty. Opportunities respond to that certainty. Life opens its doors to those who knock with conviction. Now I know believing you deserve more is not always easy. Maybe you were told you weren't good enough. Maybe you failed once and it left a scar. Maybe you made mistakes you still carry like a heavy weight. But hear me clearly. Your past does not define your worth. Your mistakes do not cancel your right to grow. Your failures are not a life sentence. You were born with the right to reach, the right to strive, the right to improve your life. That right was given to you the moment you took your first breath, and no one, not even yourself, can take that away unless you allow it. Believing you deserve what you ask for is about honoring that right. It is about respecting the life you were given. It is about refusing to settle for less than what you are capable of. Not from arrogance, not from entitlement, but from a deep sense of personal responsibility. A responsibility to live fully, a responsibility to use your talents, a responsibility to not waste the one life you have. When you believe you deserve what you want, you approach life differently. You stop apologizing for dreaming big. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop hesitating when opportunity knocks. You stand up. You speak up. You show up with your whole heart. But it takes work. It takes daily work to build that belief. You don't just wake up one day and feel worthy forever. Life will test you. Life will challenge your belief. Life will hand you rejections, failures, disappointments. And every time it does, you have a choice. You can either let those moments chip away at your worth, or you can use them to strengthen it. You strengthen your belief by how you talk to yourself. If you lose, you don't say, "I guess I'm not good enough." You say, "I guess I need to learn more." If someone says no, you don't say, "Maybe I don't deserve it." You say, "Maybe they weren't the right fit." If you make a mistake, you don't say, "I'm a failure." You say, "I'm a learner." The words you say to yourself every day are building your belief or destroying it. Every word matters. Every thought counts. Belief is not something you find. Belief is something you build. Brick by brick, choice by choice. Day after day, you build it by keeping your promises to yourself. When you say you will do something, you do it. Not because it's easy, not because you feel like it, but because you respect yourself enough to keep your word. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you are telling yourself, "I can trust me. I am worthy of better. I deserve to ask for more." You build belief by setting goals and chasing them with all you have. Not small goals that don't matter, but meaningful goals that stretch you. Goals that make you grow. Goals that demand you become more disciplined, more focused, more determined. When you chase those goals, when you fight for them, you prove to yourself every day that you are capable of more than you thought. You build belief by surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher. People who remind you of your potential. People who see your strengths even when you forget them. Life is too short to spend it around people who constantly pull you down. Choose people who speak life into you. Choose people who expect the best from you. Choose people who won't let you settle. You also build belief by remembering how far you've already come. Sometimes we forget. We are so focused on how far we still have to go that we forget to honor the battles we've already fought. The mountains we've already climbed. The nights we almost gave up but didn't. Every step you have taken matters. Every small win matters. Remind yourself of them. Celebrate them. They are proof that you are stronger than you realize. And you build belief by acting. Nothing builds belief faster than action. When you take action, you prove to yourself that you are not powerless. You prove to yourself that you can influence your own life. Even small actions matter. A single brave step forward can ignite a fire inside you. And once you feel that fire, you will never want to go back to the shadows again. But you have to start now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Ask yourself, where have I been holding back because I didn't believe I deserved more? Where have I been staying silent when I should have spoken? Where have I been settling when I should have been striving? Answer honestly. No blame, no shame, just truth. And once you see it, make a decision, a real decision, that from this moment forward you will believe in your right to ask. You will believe in your right to grow. You will believe in your right to live fully. Because here's the real truth. When you believe deeply that you deserve what you ask for, you don't beg for favors. You claim your space. You don't whisper your dreams. You speak them boldly. You don't hope someone else will save you. You become your own rescue. You become the kind of person who moves through life with quiet power. You walk into rooms with a sense of purpose. You speak with clarity. You act with confidence. And the world responds. Doors open. Opportunities appear. People listen. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because you finally aligned your actions with your belief. You finally decided that you matter. You finally decided that your dreams are worth fighting for. You finally decided that your voice deserves to be heard. And once you decide that, really decide it, you become unstoppable. Nothing can keep you small except your own doubt. Nothing can hold you back except your own hesitation. Nothing can defeat you except the story you tell yourself about your worth. Change that story.
Tell yourself a new one. A story where you are capable. A story where you are worthy. A story where you are allowed to ask for more and receive it. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you believe you deserve. If you want more, believe you deserve more. If you want to grow, believe you deserve to grow. If you want to succeed, believe you deserve to succeed. It starts with belief. It grows with action. It becomes unstoppable with persistence. And it transforms your life completely when you refuse to go back to the old version of yourself. This is your time. This is your life. You were not made to live small. You were not made to stay silent. You were made to ask boldly. You were made to live fully. You were made to rise. Believe it. Act on it. Live it. Every single day, starting now.
Chapter 2. Ask clearly for exactly what you truly want. Most people never get what they want because they never ask for it clearly. They think they are asking, but what they are doing is hinting. They are wishing. They are hoping someone will read their mind and just know. But life does not reward hints. Life rewards clarity. It rewards the person who stands up and speaks out with certainty about what they want. Clarity is not about being loud. It is not about being aggressive. It is about being specific. It is about being honest with yourself and with the world. It is about cutting through the noise inside your mind and getting to the truth of your desires. Because if you are not clear about what you want, how can you expect anyone else to be? You cannot walk around saying you want a better life without knowing what a better life looks like to you. You cannot say you want success without defining what success means for you personally. You cannot ask for happiness if you have not taken the time to understand what truly makes you feel alive. Clarity is power. Without it, you are just wandering in circles, chasing shadows. When you decide to ask clearly, everything starts to move faster. People understand how they can help you. Opportunities find you because you are finally signaling the right message. Your actions become more focused because you know exactly what you are working toward. Clarity sharpens your energy. It strengthens your direction. It simplifies your choices. But to get to that clarity, you have to be willing to slow down and be brutally honest with yourself. Not what you think you should want. Not what other people tell you to want. What you truly want, deep down at your core. The kind of wants that you feel in your bones. The kind of wants that light a fire inside you just thinking about them. Sit with yourself and ask, if there were no limits, if I could ask for anything, what would it be? Write it down. Be specific. Don't say, I want more money. Say, I want to earn $10,000 a month, doing work that matters to me. Don't say, I want a better relationship. Say, I want a relationship filled with respect, honesty and joy. Don't say, I want to be happy. Say, I want to wake up every day excited to live my life. The clearer you are, the easier it is to act. When you know exactly what you want, you stop wasting time on distractions. You stop chasing things that don't align with your vision. You stop accepting half-hearted opportunities. You hold out for what matches your clarity. And when you ask clearly, you speak differently. You don't stutter. You don't second guess. You don't shrink. You say it plainly. You say it firmly. You say it firmly. You say it with a quiet conviction that moves people without needing to shout. Imagine walking into a room and being able to state exactly what you want. Imagine sitting down in an important meeting and knowing exactly what you are asking for. Imagine approaching a mentor, a boss, a partner, and being able to look them in the eye and say, here is what I need, here is what I am offering, here is why it matters. That kind of clarity commands respect. That kind of clarity moves mountains. People are busy. Life is busy. No one has time to guess what you want. No one has time to pull it out of you. If you want something, it is your job to make it known. If you want an opportunity, ask for it. If you want support, ask for it. If you want growth, ask for it. Do not expect life to deliver what you have not clearly asked for. Asking clearly also shows that you respect yourself. It shows that you have taken the time to know yourself. It shows that you value your own time and energy enough to be direct. It shows that you are serious about your own life. And yes, asking clearly can feel scary. Because when you ask clearly, you risk hearing a clear no. But that is a good thing. A clear no is better than endless uncertainty. A clear no frees you to move forward. It frees you to find a better fit. It frees you to refine your ask and try again. Do not be afraid of a no. Be afraid of living a life built on maybes and almosts. Be afraid of looking back one day and realizing you never really asked for what you wanted because you were too scared to be clear. Clarity is a form of courage. It says, I am willing to stand behind my desires. I am willing to risk rejection to find the right path. I am willing to bet on myself. And here is something powerful. When you ask clearly, not only do you open the door for yourself, you make it easier for others to help you. People want to help those who know what they want. People respect those who are clear about their intentions. Life gets easier when you stop making people guess. Life gets richer when you stop leaving things unsaid. Think about the last time someone asked you for something clearly. Wasn't it easier to say yes or no? Didn't you appreciate the honesty? Didn't you feel a sense of respect for their directness? The same is true for you. When you are clear, you create respect. You create connection. You create results. Now, asking clearly is not just about words. It is about your whole presence. It is about how you show up, your body language, your tone, your energy. When you are clear inside, it shows on the outside. You look people in the eye. You speak with calm confidence. You carry yourself with purpose. People listen differently when you are clear. They respond differently. They feel your seriousness. They feel your sincerity. They feel your commitment. And here's the thing, clarity is not something you do once. It is a daily practice. Every day you get clearer. Every day you ask better questions. Every day you refine your vision. Every day you strengthen your ask. Clarity grows through reflection. Take time every week to check in with yourself. Ask, am I still clear about what I want? Has my vision shifted? What have I learned this week about what I truly value? Where am I being vague when I need to be specific? Reflection sharpens clarity. It weeds out distractions. It brings your true desires into sharper focus. And the sharper your focus, the faster you move. Clarity also grows through action. When you take action on what you ask for, you learn, you get feedback, you discover what works and what doesn't. You gain insight you cannot get by just thinking. Action reveals the path. Action reveals the adjustments you need to make. Do not wait until you feel 100% clear before you move. Start with what you know. Ask clearly with what you have now. Then refine as you go. Clarity deepens with momentum. And remember, asking clearly is not about demanding. It is not about entitlement. It is about communication. It is about connection.
It is about building a bridge between your inner world and the outer world. You are not forcing life to obey you. You are inviting life to meet you halfway. You are extending a hand. You are making your needs and desires visible. You are taking responsibility for your part in creating the life you want. Responsibility is key. Asking clearly is an act of responsibility. It says, I am not waiting for someone to rescue me. I am not waiting for a lucky break. I am creating my own path with my own words and my own actions. You are the author of your own story. You are the architect of your own future. If you do not ask clearly for what you want, you are handing that pen to someone else. You are letting someone else write your life. Take the pen back. Write your own script. Be bold enough to say what you want. Be brave enough to ask for it out loud. The world is not served by your confusion. The world is not served by your silence. The world is served by your clarity, by your certainty, by your commitment to living a life of purpose and passion. And it does not matter how old you are. It does not matter where you started. It does not matter how many mistakes you have made. You can start today. You can start now. You can begin the practice of asking clearly for exactly what you want. And when you do, watch how life begins to respond differently. Watch how people start to show up for you. Watch how opportunities begin to align. Watch how your confidence grows with every step you take. This is your time. Your voice matters. Your desires matter. Your dreams matter. Ask clearly. Ask boldly. Ask with the full weight of your belief behind your words. And when you do not waver. Do not second guess. Stand firm in what you have asked for. Keep moving forward with the certainty that what you have asked for is on its way to you. Because when you are clear, the world listens. When you are clear, the doors open. When you are clear, you move from hoping to creating, from waiting to leading, from surviving to thriving. Clarity transforms everything. It transforms how you speak. It transforms how you act. It transforms how you live. And the clearer you become, the more powerful you become, the more unstoppable you become, the more fully alive you become. Start today. Be honest. Be specific. Be brave. Ask clearly for exactly what you truly want. Your life will never be the same.
Chapter 3. Practice asking boldly without doubting your own worth. Most people live their lives waiting for permission, waiting for someone else to tell them it's okay to want more, okay to reach higher, okay to ask for something bigger. But the truth is, no one is coming to hand you that permission slip. You have to give it to yourself. You have to practice asking boldly, without flinching, without second guessing, without shrinking back from your own worth. Asking boldly is not arrogance. It's not selfishness. It's knowing, deep down, that you have a right to participate fully in this life. That you have a right to stand up and say, I am worthy of better. I am worthy of opportunity. I am worthy of success, love, growth, and abundance. When you believe you are worthy, you ask from a place of strength. When you doubt your worth, you ask from a place of fear, and the world can feel the difference. If you approach life hesitantly, with your head down and your voice small, you are telling life that you are not serious. You are signaling that you are willing to accept scraps, that you will take whatever is left after the bold ones have had their share. But that's not the life you were meant to live. You were meant to live fully. You were meant to stand tall. You were meant to take your place at the table with courage. Practicing asking boldly starts with how you see yourself. If you see yourself as someone who must always settle, someone who must always wait their turn, someone who must always stay small to keep others comfortable, you will hesitate. You will water down your asks. You will speak in half requests. You will apologize for your own dreams before you even voice them. But if you change the way you see yourself, you change the way you ask. If you start to see yourself as valuable, as capable, as someone whose voice matters, you will begin to speak differently. You will walk into rooms differently. You will step into opportunities differently. You will live differently. No one else can build that belief for you. You have to do the inner work. You have to remind yourself every single day that you are not asking for favors. You are claiming your opportunity to contribute, to grow, to make an impact. You are not begging for scraps. You are standing for what is possible. Doubting your own worth is a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken. It can be replaced with a stronger habit. The habit of backing yourself, the habit of trusting your value, the habit of asking with conviction. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens one ask at a time. Every time you speak up for yourself, you build a little more trust with yourself. Every time you state your needs clearly and boldly, you rewire your mind to expect better treatment, not just from others, but from yourself. The first few times you practice this, it will feel uncomfortable. You might feel your heart pounding. You might feel your hands sweat. You might feel your voice shake. That's okay. Boldness is a muscle. At first it trembles under the weight, but with repetition it grows strong. It becomes steady. It becomes natural. The more you practice, the less you will feel the need to justify or explain away your desires. You will realize that you are allowed to want what you want without apology. You will realize that asking boldly is not about pushing others around. It's about standing firm in who you are. When you ask boldly, you are not asking with entitlement. You are asking with ownership. You are saying, I take responsibility for my life. I am willing to be seen. I am willing to be heard. I am willing to take a risk in pursuit of something better. And yes, bold asking carries risk. Sometimes people will say no. Sometimes they will not respond the way you hope. Sometimes they will not see your worth. But their response does not define your worth. Their response does not decide your value. Your value is constant, independent of how others react. When you ask boldly, you detach from needing a yes to feel good about yourself. You know that the very act of asking strengthens you. You know that every time you show up boldly, you become a stronger version of yourself. You know that the wins will come if you stay in the game long enough. The world rewards those who dare to step up, not always immediately, not always on your timeline, but consistently in the long run. Boldness attracts opportunities that timidity misses. When you hesitate, you send mixed signals. You say you want something, but your actions show fear. You express interest, but your energy says doubt. Life responds to certainty. Life moves toward those who move decisively. You don't have to know everything to ask boldly. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to believe that you are enough, as you are right now, even as you work to grow and improve. Bold asking also respects the time and energy of others. When you are clear and confident, people can trust you. They know where you stand. They know what you want. They know how to help or how to respond. You create clarity for yourself and for everyone around you. And boldness is contagious. When you ask boldly, you give others permission to do the same. You raise the standard for how people communicate. You create a culture where honesty, clarity, and courage are normal. Think about the moments in your life when someone asked you for something boldly. You respected them for it.
Even if you couldn't give them what they asked for, you admired their courage. You remembered their clarity. Now imagine being that person in someone else's eyes. Imagine being the one who inspires boldness in others simply by the way you show up. Bold asking also helps you get to the truth faster. When you ask clearly and boldly, you find out who is aligned with you and who is not. You find out where the real opportunities are. You find out who is willing to support you and who is not. This saves you time. It saves you energy. It keeps you moving toward the people and situations that match your ambition. Practicing boldness also teaches you emotional resilience. Not every ask will go your way. Not every door will open on the first knock. But every time you practice, you build your inner strength. You learn that you can survive a no. You learn that rejection is not personal. You learn that your dreams are bigger than any single setback. Boldness also sharpens your focus. When you know you are going to ask for something boldly, you prepare differently. You think through what you really want. You organize your thoughts. You step into the situation with intentionality. You don't drift through life hoping good things happen. You go after what you want with purpose. And bold asking transforms the way you view challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to shrink back, you see them as opportunities to step up. You understand that the bigger the ask, the bigger the potential reward. You understand that courage often opens doors that caution keeps closed. You also begin to realize that most people are not thinking about you as much as you fear. Most people are caught up in their own lives, their own worries, their own dreams. When you ask boldly, you are not being selfish. You are simply asserting your right to participate fully in the game of life. If you spend your life tiptoeing around your own desires, you will never experience the full richness that is available to you. You will always be waiting, always hesitating, always wondering what might have been. But if you commit to practicing bold asking, day after day, you will feel yourself come alive. You will feel yourself expanding. You will feel your confidence growing from the inside out. And this practice doesn't have to start with huge asks. It can start small. It can start with asking for what you need in daily conversations. It can start with speaking up when you have an idea. It can start with setting clear boundaries and expectations. Every time you practice, you build momentum. Every time you practice, you send a signal to yourself that you are worthy of respect, of opportunity, of abundance. Boldness is not about never feeling fear. It's about acting in spite of the fear. It's about trusting that your worth is bigger than your momentary discomfort. It's about knowing that the cost of staying silent is far greater than the temporary discomfort of speaking up. And the beautiful thing is, the more you practice, the easier it gets. What once felt terrifying becomes second nature. What once felt impossible becomes a daily habit. What once felt like a huge risk becomes simply the way you live. You were not born to live small. You were not born to settle. You were born to stretch, to grow, to contribute, to lead. And that starts with asking boldly for what you need, what you want, and what you are ready to create. The world needs your voice. The world needs your dreams. The world needs your boldness. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now, stand up. Speak clearly. Ask boldly. Trust your worth. And keep practicing every day, in every situation, until boldness is not just something you do. It is who you are.
Chapter 4. Prepare yourself mentally before every important ask today. Every important ask begins long before you actually make the request. It begins with the preparation you do in your mind, the way you organize your thoughts, and how you get yourself mentally ready to ask for exactly what you want, when you want it, and in the manner that communicates both confidence and clarity. If you don't prepare yourself mentally before asking, you might end up speaking out of fear, hesitation, or insecurity. You might ask in a way that doesn't reflect your true potential, your true worth, or your true power. You might even talk yourself out of making the ask altogether. But when you prepare yourself, you change the entire conversation. You change the entire game. Because mental preparation isn't just about getting ready for the moment, it's about understanding your own value and aligning your mind with the outcome you want. Before you ask for something important, take a moment to mentally remind yourself of who you are, what you bring to the table, and why you deserve to ask for what you want. This isn't about ego, it's about clarity. It's about being grounded in your own value, recognizing that you are worthy of the opportunities, the relationships, and the success that you are about to ask for. Start by silencing the internal noise. We all have that voice in our head that tells us we're not ready, that we're not good enough, that we're not deserving of something bigger. But you have to quiet that voice. You have to replace it with something more empowering. You have to tell yourself, I am prepared, I am ready, I am deserving of this. No one else can do that for you. It's something you must tell yourself before every important ask you make. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the door of an opportunity, about to knock. But you don't just barge in, you take a moment to breathe. You center yourself. You remind yourself of the preparation you've already done, of the effort you've put in, and of the value you bring to the situation. You remind yourself that you are not stepping into the unknown, you are stepping into a place that you've already earned the right to be. Mental preparation transforms that door from something you might be afraid to knock on to something you know you can walk through. Now, part of this preparation involves focusing on the outcome you want. What exactly are you asking for? What do you need to ask for to move forward? Be crystal clear about what you're asking for. You can't be vague or uncertain, even in your own mind. Clarity is power. Ambiguity is weakness. If you don't know what you want, how can you expect anyone else to know? You have to mentally define what you are about to ask for, so that when the moment arrives, you can communicate your request with certainty and confidence. But mental preparation is not just about what you are asking for, it's also about preparing for how you will handle the response. This is where mental strength comes in. When you make an important ask, there is always the possibility of rejection, hesitation, or pushback. That's just part of life. But when you mentally prepare, you accept that possibility ahead of time. You don't fear it. You don't avoid it. You simply accept it and prepare yourself to stay calm and composed, no matter what response comes your way. The key is to detach from needing a specific outcome. When you mentally prepare, you understand that your value doesn't change based on someone else's response. You understand that rejection doesn't diminish you. You understand that the ask itself is an act of courage, and that the courage you demonstrate will lead to more opportunities in the future, even if the answer to this particular ask is no. Mental preparation strengthens your resilience and allows you to move forward without being derailed by temporary setbacks. Another important aspect of mental preparation is creating an environment of focus. When you have an important ask to make, eliminate distractions. Give yourself the space to think clearly. Get rid of any mental clutter that might cloud your judgment or cause you to lose confidence. Whether it's a phone call, a meeting, or a conversation, make sure you're fully present and focused on the task at hand. The more you focus on the ask and what it will mean for you, the clearer your communication will be, and the more confidence you'll project. Part of this focus is also about setting your intentions. Ask yourself, why do I want this? What will this bring me? How will this help me grow? When you understand why you want something, you connect with the purpose behind your ask. This purpose becomes a driving force that helps you maintain clarity and confidence. It helps you focus on what matters and avoid getting distracted by any fears or doubts. When you approach an ask with purpose, you're not just asking for something, you're aligning your request with your greater goals and vision. Before making any important ask, take time to rehearse. This doesn't mean memorizing a script or making it robotic. It means mentally walking through the process. Visualize the conversation. Visualize yourself asking confidently, clearly, and without hesitation. Visualize the person you are asking listening to you, understanding you, and responding positively. Imagine the moment of success, even if that success is simply the feeling of having asked without fear. This kind of mental rehearsal boosts your confidence and helps you overcome any anxiety. It allows you to see yourself as capable, prepared, and deserving of what you're asking for. And when you've already seen yourself succeed in your mind, it becomes much easier to make the ask in real life. Preparation also involves reminding yourself of your previous successes. Think back to other moments in your life when you've asked for something and received it. Maybe it wasn't exactly what you expected, but you've had experiences where you've asked for help, for opportunities, or for support, and you've been granted what you needed. Tap into that success. Remind yourself that you've asked for things before, and you've received them. You've asked for help, for advice, for opportunities, and you've made progress. Let that past success fuel your belief that your ask today can be successful too. In addition to reminding yourself of past successes, it's important to keep your mindset in a place of possibility. Before making an ask, focus on what could go right. Rather than dwelling on all the reasons things could go wrong, put your energy into visualizing the potential positive outcomes. This doesn't mean ignoring the possibility of challenges or rejection. It simply means shifting your focus from fear to possibility. When you focus on the positive outcomes, you start to believe in them. You start to see them as likely. You start to align yourself with the future you want to create, rather than the one you fear. As you prepare yourself mentally, remember that confidence is built on action. Mental preparation isn't just about thinking, it's about doing. It's about taking the time to get clear, to focus, and to align your energy with your request. And the more you do this, the more natural it will become. Mental preparation isn't a one-time thing. It's a habit that you form every time you prepare for an important ask. Over time, it will become second nature. You will approach every ask with more ease, more clarity, and more confidence. One of the most powerful aspects of mental preparation is how it affects your energy. When you prepare yourself mentally, you shift your energy from uncertainty and hesitation to confidence and purpose. You show up with a different energy, a different presence, and that changes how others respond to you. People pick up on your energy. They pick up on whether you are confident, grounded, and clear about what you want. And when they sense that confidence, they are more likely to respond positively to your ask. As you mentally prepare, consider how you will handle the situation after the ask. How will you continue to follow up? How will you continue to show up, even if the answer is not immediately what you wanted? The ask is only part of the equation. How you handle the process afterwards, whether it's through follow-up, maintaining your focus, or being patient, matters just as much. Your preparation ensures that you approach the situation with resilience and a willingness to continue moving forward. Ultimately, preparing yourself mentally is about stepping into your power. It's about owning your worth. It's about walking into each moment with the understanding that you are fully capable of creating the future you desire. And when you mentally prepare before every important ask,
you align yourself with that future. You don't just ask for what you want, you ask with confidence, clarity, and purpose. You ask knowing that you are deserving and that you are ready for what comes next.
Chapter 5. Speak with confidence and look people in the eyes. To ask for what you want, you must speak with confidence and look people in the eye. Sounds simple, right? But it's one of the most profound and impactful skills you can develop. Too many people undermine their own requests because they lack the courage to speak up with authority. Too often, they avoid direct eye contact, which communicates uncertainty, hesitation, and lack of belief in themselves. If you want to get what you truly deserve, if you want to make an impact and leave a lasting impression, you need to own the moment. And that starts with speaking confidently and looking people in the eyes. Speaking with confidence doesn't just mean having the right words to say. It's more than just the words. It's about how you say them, how you carry yourself, and how you believe in what you are saying. When you speak confidently, your words carry weight. They land with authority and clarity. People listen to you because they sense that you are grounded, that you believe in yourself, and that you stand firm in your request. And when you speak with clarity and confidence, you're much more likely to get what you want. So let's start with the fundamentals of confidence in speaking. Confidence is not about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes. Confidence is about trust. It's about trusting yourself, your words, and your message. When you speak with confidence, you express your belief in yourself and in the value of what you're asking for. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you? When you walk into a room or approach a conversation with a strong sense of self-belief, that energy becomes contagious. People can feel it and they respond to it. Now, speaking confidently doesn't mean being aggressive or overbearing. It means being assertive. It means standing your ground while respecting others. When you make an ask, you need to communicate your needs and desires clearly, but also with respect. You can be firm in your requests without being rude or dismissive of the other person. Being confident in your speech means you are clear about your intentions, but also aware of how you're coming across. You must strike that balance between confidence and humility, strength and kindness. One of the most impactful ways to enhance your confidence in conversation is through your body language. You've heard it before, but it's true, body language speaks volumes. The way you stand, the way you carry yourself, and the way you position yourself when speaking all affect how others perceive your level of confidence. Stand tall, hold your posture strong and open. People can sense whether you are standing firmly on your feet, or if you are shrinking away, hiding from the conversation. The more you carry yourself with openness and strength, the more others will see you as someone worth listening to. But there's something equally important as your posture: your eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul, and they play a crucial role in how your confidence is perceived. When you speak to someone, look them directly in the eyes. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not used to it, but this is a practice that will change everything. When you look someone in the eye, you convey confidence, sincerity, and authenticity. It shows that you are fully present in the moment, that you're not afraid, and that you have nothing to hide. Avoiding eye contact, on the other hand, communicates insecurity, doubt, and hesitation. If you can't look someone in the eye when you're asking for something, it's hard for them to take you seriously. You might find yourself stuttering, second-guessing, or lacking conviction. But when you make direct eye contact, you signal that you are clear in your intentions, strong in your request, and ready to receive what you're asking for. Eye contact is a powerful tool in any conversation because it shows that you are engaged, confident, and emotionally connected to the interaction. It draws people in, it builds trust, and it creates a stronger connection between you and the other person. The power of eye contact doesn't stop at confidence. It also helps you gauge the response of the other person. When you look someone in the eyes, you are paying attention to their non-verbal cues. You can sense their comfort level, their openness, and their willingness to engage with what you are saying. If you see hesitation or doubt, you can adjust your approach. If you see positivity and receptiveness, you can press forward with greater conviction. Eye contact opens a channel of communication that goes beyond words, and it allows you to connect in a deeper way. But here's the thing, speaking with confidence and maintaining eye contact isn't just about getting others to listen to you. It's about transforming your own mindset. When you speak with confidence, when you stand tall and look people in the eye, you are telling yourself, I am worthy, I am strong, I am capable of asking for what I want and receiving it. Your body language and your words create a feedback loop that reinforces your own self-belief. You begin to see yourself as someone who deserves to take up space, someone whose voice matters, someone whose asks are valid. The next time you prepare for a conversation where you need to ask for something important, take a moment to mentally rehearse. Imagine yourself walking into that room, standing tall, making eye contact, and speaking clearly and confidently. Picture the conversation unfolding with ease and power. See yourself asking for what you want without hesitation. Visualize yourself owning the moment. And as you visualize this, feel the confidence flowing through your body. This mental preparation primes you to act with conviction and to face any fear or doubt head-on. It prepares you to speak from a place of strength, and that makes all the difference. When you speak with confidence, you remove the doubt from your voice. You stop second-guessing your words, and you stop wondering if you deserve what you're asking for. You become certain that you do, and that certainty changes the way others respond to you. People want to follow those who are confident. People want to listen to those who speak with authority and conviction. When you own the moment with your words, your posture, and your eye contact, you become someone who commands attention. You become someone who gets taken seriously. But confidence doesn't happen overnight. It's something you build over time. It's something you practice, just like any other skill. The more you speak with confidence, the easier it becomes. The more you stand tall and look people in the eye, the more natural it feels. Confidence grows through repetition, through consistent practice, and through the small wins you achieve along the way. Every time you speak up, every time you ask for what you want, you reinforce your belief in yourself and in your ability to succeed. And with each success, your confidence grows. Remember, speaking confidently and making eye contact isn't just about the other person, it's about you. It's about showing up as your best self, owning your worth, and taking responsibility for your own success. You have something valuable to offer, and the way you communicate that value is through your words, your posture, and your eyes. So stand tall, speak clearly, look people in the eye, and know that you are fully capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. Because when you speak with confidence, you create a powerful presence that cannot be ignored, and that's how you get what you want. If you want to take it a step further, consider the impact of your actions after the ask. When you speak with confidence and maintain eye contact, it sets the tone for the rest of your interaction. It establishes your authority, but also your respect for others.
It lets people know that you are someone who takes action, who stands firm, and who follows through. And that is a quality that attracts success. The way you ask and the way you speak have the power to shape your future. When you speak with confidence, when you hold your ground and look people in the eyes, you are shaping a reality where your needs are met, your requests are heard, and your potential is recognized. Confidence is an art, a practice, and a mindset. And once you master the art of speaking with confidence, your life and your relationships will change in ways you never imagined. You will start to ask for more, and you'll find that you get more because you believe you deserve it, and you speak it into existence with unwavering certainty.
Chapter 6. Make your request simple, specific, and easy to understand. When you are making a request, whether it's for a favor, a job opportunity, or something else that you truly desire, it's critical to make that request simple, specific, and easy to understand. The more clear and direct your ask, the more likely you are to get the outcome you want. One of the biggest barriers to getting what you want is the complexity of your request. If the person you're speaking to has to guess what you're asking for, or if your request feels overwhelming or confusing, it's far less likely they'll respond favorably. A simple and straightforward request is far more powerful than one that's vague or convoluted. Why is simplicity so effective? The human brain processes information in a particular way. We respond best to clear, concise communication. When you complicate things, you introduce confusion, and that leads to hesitation. People tend to avoid complexity because it requires more effort to process and interpret. When you make your request clear and easy to follow, you remove the uncertainty and make it easier for the other person to respond positively. In essence, you've made it as simple as possible for them to say yes because they understand exactly what you're asking. The first step in crafting a simple request is to identify what it is you actually want. This may seem obvious, but many people struggle with this because they haven't taken the time to fully clarify their own desires. They might know they want something but haven't thought through what the specifics are. When you ask for something, you need to have a clear vision of what you need. The more specific you can be, the easier it is for the other person to give it to you. For example, instead of saying, "I need help with my project," say something like, "I need help with the first section of my project, specifically with organizing the research I've gathered." The second request is clear. It tells the person exactly what you need, and it makes it easy for them to step in and assist you in that specific way. The more specific you are, the less room there is for misunderstanding. When you are clear, you create an opportunity for the other person to offer exactly what you need, rather than trying to guess what you mean or offering something that misses the mark. The second component of making your request simple is to focus on clarity. It's one thing to be specific, but you also need to make sure that the language you use is easy to understand. Avoid jargon, technical terms, or anything that could confuse the person you're speaking to. Think about how you can break down your request into straightforward, simple words. Clear language eliminates ambiguity and allows the other person to respond without having to process too much information. People appreciate simplicity. If they know exactly what you need, and if you express it in a way that's easy to digest, you're far more likely to receive the help, support, or resources you need. For example, if you're asking for time off at work, don't complicate it by giving a long explanation about why you need the time off. Instead, simply state, "I would like to take off 2 days next week, on Tuesday and Wednesday, so I can attend a family event." In this case, you've made the request simple and specific. You've identified the days you want off, and you've given enough context for the person to understand your request. You haven't overloaded them with information or distracted them with unnecessary details. You've made it as easy as possible for them to say yes or no, and that's the key to getting what you want. Another important element of simplicity is being mindful of the person you are asking. People are busy. They have their own concerns and priorities, so when you make your request, respect their time and attention. Be concise. Don't ramble or over-explain. Give just enough information to help them understand what you're asking, and leave the rest out. If they need further details, they will ask. But your job is to present the request in a way that doesn't require them to sift through unnecessary details. Make your message clear and easy for them to act on. Let's consider another example. Imagine you're asking a colleague for assistance with a task. Instead of saying, "I'm really behind on this project, and I'm having trouble managing all the pieces. I just need someone to help me with a few things, maybe look over some of the details, and possibly provide some guidance on how to improve it. I'm not sure what part I need help with yet, but anything you can do to help me get this done would be amazing." You could simplify it to, "I need help with reviewing the financial projections in this report. Could you take a look at section 3 and give me your feedback?" You've made your request clear and specific. It's no longer a vague plea for help. You've pinpointed exactly what you need assistance with, and now the other person knows what action they need to take. Simplicity also means that your request shouldn't be overwhelming. If you ask for too much at once, it can make the person feel burdened or reluctant to respond. Instead of overwhelming them with a big request, break it down into manageable steps. Instead of asking for a huge favor, break it into smaller, more digestible pieces. This makes the task easier for the other person and increases the likelihood that they'll agree to help. For example, if you need to ask someone to mentor you, don't say, "I need a mentor to guide me on everything from personal growth to my career and everything in between." That's an overwhelming request. Instead, break it down into something smaller. "I'd love to have a 1-hour conversation with you about how you navigated your career and any advice you might have for someone just starting out." You're making it clear, specific, and much easier for the other person to agree to. It's also important to consider timing when you make a request. If you ask for something at a busy or stressful time for the other person, your request may not be as well received. So be strategic. Make your request at a time when the person can give you their full attention and when they're more likely to say yes. For instance, if you're asking your boss for a favor, don't do it during a stressful meeting or right before a deadline. Find a moment when the timing is right and when your request won't add additional pressure on them. When you make a request that is simple, specific, and easy to understand, you not only increase your chances of getting what you want, but you also build trust with the person you're asking. They will appreciate that you're not overcomplicating things, that you value their time and energy, and that you've made your needs clear. People want to help others, but they also appreciate when the process is straightforward. It's easier for them to say yes when they don't have to interpret your words or sort through unnecessary information. So before you make a request, take a moment to think about how you can simplify it. What do you need? How can you make it clear and easy for the other person to understand? What language can you use that will make the request straightforward and simple? The simpler your request, the more likely you are to get the outcome you want.
Chapter 7. Back your ask with real value and genuine intention. When you ask for something, it's not just about putting out a request into the universe or expecting others to provide for you without any form of exchange. The key to making a successful ask is backing it up with real value and genuine intention. People are far more likely to say yes to a request when they see that it benefits them in some way, or that your request is coming from a place of sincerity. If you ask without offering value or without showing genuine intent, your request risks being seen as self-serving, superficial, or manipulative. Let's dive into what it truly means to back your ask with value and intention, and how that can make a world of difference in achieving your goals. First and foremost, it's important to realize that your request should not be one-sided. If you're asking someone for a favor, an opportunity, or any kind of support, you need to ask yourself, what can I offer in return? The world is built on mutual benefit, and for any transaction, whether personal, professional, or otherwise, there must be value flowing both ways. When you approach someone with a request, it should never feel like you are simply taking from them. People want to feel that when they help you, they're also gaining something in return, even if that something isn't immediately tangible. The value you offer doesn't always have to be something you can touch or see, but it must be real. If you're asking for someone's time, for instance, you need to show that you value their time and you understand how precious it is. Respecting the time of others demonstrates genuine intent, and it immediately sets you apart from those who make vague, thoughtless requests. It's one thing to say, "Can you help me with this project?" But it's entirely different to approach the request with a mindset of, "I really value your time, and I understand how busy you are, so if you could spare even a few minutes to look over this report, I'd be incredibly grateful." What you're doing here is showing that you recognize and appreciate their time. This small change in how you frame your ask makes it clear that you are not expecting something for nothing. It conveys that you are mindful of their position, and you're offering your appreciation right from the start. In this instance, you're not just requesting their help, but you're acknowledging the value of what they bring to the table. One of the most powerful ways to back up your ask is to give before you take. The principle of reciprocity is a powerful tool in human interactions. Think about how often you've been inclined to help someone who has already helped you. We are naturally wired to reciprocate kindness and generosity. If you approach someone with an ask and follow that up with an offer of something that might be valuable to them, you are not only increasing your chances of a yes, but you're also building trust and goodwill. For example, if you need help with a task or advice on a particular issue, before asking for their time or knowledge, try offering something of value to them. This could be as simple as offering to assist them with something you are good at, or providing a useful piece of information, a connection, or a resource. Even if it's something small, when people see that you are willing to contribute, they will be far more likely to return the favor. But your value doesn't always have to be transactional. Sometimes, the value you bring is in the form of gratitude, positivity, or support. Showing sincere appreciation when someone helps you can leave a lasting impact. Think about the last time you did something kind for someone and they didn't acknowledge it. How did that make you feel? Now think about the last time you helped someone and they were truly appreciative, expressing how much it meant to them. There's a big difference. People appreciate being appreciated. It's not enough to just ask for something. You need to show that you are thankful, respectful, and aware of the value they are bringing to you. When you make your request, it's just as important to show gratitude up front as it is to demonstrate it after the fact. Another critical element in backing your ask with value is ensuring that your request aligns with the other person's goals or values. People are more inclined to say yes when they feel that what you're asking for connects to something they believe in or care about. For instance, if you're asking for help with a community project and the person you're asking is passionate about that cause, they're much more likely to agree to your request. If you're seeking advice from someone who values personal development, let them know how much you respect their expertise
and how their advice can help you reach your growth goals. The more your ask aligns with their values, the more they will feel connected to your mission. One of the most powerful aspects of backing your ask with genuine intention is that it builds your credibility and trustworthiness. When people know you're asking because you have a clear, sincere purpose, they're far more likely to trust you and feel comfortable helping you. If you ask with true intent, without ulterior motives, it shows that you are not trying to manipulate the situation for your own gain. It's easy to spot when someone is asking for something just because they want something from you, with no real reason or benefit for you involved. This kind of request feels shallow and insincere, but when your ask comes from a place of authenticity, when you are honest about why you're asking, what you hope to achieve, and how their help will contribute to a greater good, your sincerity shines through, and people will want to help you. Consider how often we turn down requests when we feel they are made with ulterior motives or for shallow reasons. However, when someone asks for something and it's clear they have thought about the impact of their request, the value it brings to others, and have a real, honest purpose behind it, we tend to respond much more positively. It's about making sure that the person you're asking understands that you're coming from a place of integrity and that your request is meaningful, not just another selfish grab for something you want. A key element of backing your ask with value is also understanding the long-term relationship you want to build. Asking for help or a favor isn't just a one-time interaction, it's part of a larger dynamic between you and the person you're asking. When you approach your request with a focus on adding value and maintaining a positive relationship, you're investing in future exchanges and building a foundation for continued support. You're telling them that this isn't just about getting what you want right now, but about fostering a relationship where mutual benefit is always at the core. At the end of the day, making a request without backing it up with real value and genuine intention is like making an empty promise. It's hollow. People can sense when you're asking for something without considering what you're offering in return. If you approach your request with the mindset that you're asking not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of everyone involved, you will find that people are more willing to say yes. When you focus on offering value, aligning your request with their values, and asking from a place of sincerity, you turn the act of asking into an opportunity for collaboration and growth, not just for yourself but for everyone.
Chapter 8. Stay calm and respectful no matter the first response. In life we often find ourselves in situations where we ask for something, whether it's assistance, a favor, or even an opportunity, and the response we receive is not what we had hoped for. Perhaps it's a no, or maybe it's an answer that doesn't give us the clarity or assurance we were expecting. The way we handle these responses, especially the negative or unexpected ones, speaks volumes about our character and our ability to stay composed in moments of potential disappointment or frustration. The ability to stay calm and respectful no matter the first response is not just a matter of emotional control, it's a reflection of our values, maturity, and long-term goals. It shows that we understand that a single moment, a single response, does not define us or our worth. It also highlights our ability to engage with others in a way that builds trust, maintains relationships, and positions us as someone who is reasonable and composed even in difficult situations. In many instances, when we hear no, our immediate reaction is to feel rejected, misunderstood, or even angry. We might take it personally and feel as though we've been judged or dismissed. However, this response, though natural, is often counterproductive. It can cause us to react in ways that are rash or defensive, which can lead to more harm than good. When we allow ourselves to react emotionally and impulsively, we risk damaging the very relationship or opportunity we are trying to nurture. Instead of gaining a potential ally, we may alienate the person we were hoping to connect with. Staying calm in the face of rejection requires mental discipline and emotional intelligence. It's about stepping back from the initial sting of disappointment and considering the bigger picture. It's about resisting the temptation to react impulsively or emotionally. This does not mean suppressing your feelings or pretending that the rejection doesn't affect you. It means giving yourself the space to feel your emotions and then choosing to respond in a way that is thoughtful, respectful, and composed. One of the first steps in handling a negative response with grace is understanding that the answer you receive is not necessarily a reflection of your worth or abilities. People's decisions are often influenced by a wide variety of factors, many of which are outside of your control. A no could be due to the person's circumstances, their priorities, or simply the timing. It's essential to recognize that a rejection is not an indictment of you as an individual. It's just a moment in time, a decision based on a specific set of factors. When you accept this, you free yourself from the trap of taking things personally, which allows you to maintain your composure. Additionally, by staying calm, you give yourself the opportunity to learn from the experience. When we react with frustration or disappointment, we close ourselves off to valuable feedback or insights. However, if we take a step back, we might find that the no contains important information. Perhaps the person has offered a reason for their response, or maybe you can ask for clarification in a respectful way. Responding with composure opens the door for constructive conversations, allowing you to gain insights that you may have otherwise missed if you had reacted with anger or defensiveness. Respecting the other person, regardless of their response, is also crucial. In a world where people are often quick to criticize or point fingers, showing respect in challenging situations demonstrates maturity and integrity. It signals that you are someone who values others, even when their decisions don't align with your hopes or expectations. This can go a long way in building trust and preserving a positive relationship. People are far more likely to say yes to someone who has demonstrated respect and patience, even in the face of disagreement, than someone who reacts negatively when things don't go their way. One of the most powerful ways to stay calm and respectful is by practicing mindfulness. Before you even make a request, it's helpful to set an intention to remain composed, regardless of the outcome. Being mindful in the moment allows you to take a pause before responding. This pause creates space between the stimulus, the response you receive, and your reaction. By cultivating this mindfulness, you allow yourself the time to process the situation and respond thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. This pause is not just a break between the response and your reaction, it's a moment of clarity that helps you center yourself, think logically, and maintain control of your emotions. It's also helpful to reframe the situation. Instead of focusing on the no or the rejection, shift your focus to what you can learn from the experience. Ask yourself, what can I take away from this? Is there something I could do differently next time? How can I improve my approach or make my request more compelling? When you view rejection as a learning opportunity rather than a setback, it takes the sting out of the situation and empowers you to move forward with greater wisdom and perspective. Being respectful in the face of rejection also involves being patient. Understand that not every decision can be made on the spot. If someone says no to you, it doesn't mean that you should give up altogether. It simply means that this particular moment or opportunity isn't right. However, this does not preclude future opportunities. By remaining calm and respectful, you leave the door open for future collaboration, even if it's not in the immediate moment.
A respectful response shows that you are considerate of their time, their decisions, and their position, which can make them more likely to engage with you down the road when the timing is better. Another key aspect of staying calm and respectful is practicing emotional regulation. This is a skill that allows you to control your emotions in the face of external stresses, rather than letting your emotions control you. Emotional regulation doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather finding healthy ways to express and process them. For example, if you're feeling disappointed or frustrated after a rejection, you might take a few deep breaths, go for a walk, or talk to a trusted friend. These actions help you process your emotions and regain a sense of calm before responding. The more you practice emotional regulation, the better you will become at handling difficult situations with grace and composure. Finally, remember that rejection is not the end of the road. It's simply a part of the journey. Every no brings you one step closer to a yes. By handling rejection with composure and respect, you not only protect your relationships, but also build resilience and emotional strength. You become someone who is able to handle the ups and downs of life without losing your cool. Someone who understands that challenges are simply opportunities in disguise. In conclusion, staying calm and respectful, no matter the first response, is a skill that pays dividends in both your personal and professional life. It shows that you are mature, composed, and capable of handling adversity without letting it define you. When you approach rejection with grace and patience, you create space for learning, growth, and future opportunities. Most importantly, you demonstrate that you are someone who is in control of their emotions and actions, regardless of external circumstances. This not only makes you more likely to succeed in your endeavors, but it also earns you the respect of those around you, creating stronger, more meaningful relationships and opening doors to greater possibilities in the future.
Chapter 9. Follow up politely without fear or hesitation today. Following up politely without fear or hesitation is an essential skill that can make all the difference in achieving success, whether you're pursuing personal goals, professional growth, or building meaningful relationships. Many of us, however, find ourselves hesitating when it comes to following up. We worry that we're being too persistent or bothersome, or perhaps that we're being perceived as pushy. These fears can paralyze us, causing us to miss opportunities, lose momentum, or even abandon important projects altogether. The truth is, fear of following up is a common obstacle. It's rooted in the uncertainty of how others might respond. But the more you practice the art of following up with confidence and respect, the more you will realize that it is not only a necessary skill, it is an incredibly powerful tool for growth, achievement, and influence. When you follow up, you are not merely reminding someone of your previous conversation or request, you are demonstrating your commitment, professionalism, and persistence. You are showing that you value your time, the relationship, and the opportunity you are pursuing. A well-executed follow-up isn't just about pushing for an answer, it's about maintaining a dialogue and ensuring that important matters do not fall through the cracks. The first step in following up without fear is acknowledging that most of the time people are busy. In a fast-paced world, it's easy for things to get lost in the shuffle, and decisions may be delayed for a variety of reasons. When you follow up, you are helping to bring the conversation back into focus. Instead of feeling like an inconvenience, you are acting as a facilitator, gently reminding the other person of your previous discussion and offering them a chance to re-engage with the matter at hand. What often holds us back from following up is the fear of being intrusive. We worry that by reaching out again, we might annoy the person or even damage the relationship. This fear can prevent us from taking the necessary action to move forward. The key to overcoming this fear is to remember that following up is a sign of respect, not a sign of desperation.
It shows that you are organized, responsible, and genuinely interested in progressing. By following up, you are demonstrating that you are a proactive person who takes initiative rather than waiting passively for things to happen. A key to overcoming the hesitation that often accompanies follow-ups is framing the situation with a positive mindset. Instead of thinking, "I don't want to bother them," try thinking, "I am providing value by keeping the conversation going." People who follow up are often seen as more professional and reliable, as they are demonstrating their dedication to seeing things through. By following up, you are making it easier for others to engage with you, as they can see that you are serious and organized in your approach. It's also essential to recognize that a follow-up does not necessarily need to be a lengthy or complicated process. A simple, concise message can often be the most effective. You don't have to apologize or explain yourself excessively. A straightforward, polite inquiry is often all that's needed to keep the conversation moving forward. Rather than overthinking the wording or trying to craft the perfect message, focus on clarity, brevity, and respect. A well-crafted follow-up conveys confidence and professionalism without being pushy or demanding. When you approach follow-ups with the understanding that your request or action is simply part of a process, it becomes easier to do so without fear. In professional settings, for example, follow-ups are an expected part of the workflow. They are not seen as burdensome, but rather as part of the natural course of doing business. You may think that not following up will make you seem more patient, but in reality, it can make you seem disorganized or unprofessional. A well-timed follow-up ensures that things stay on track and that you remain visible in the eyes of those you are working with. There's also an important mindset shift that can make following up easier, viewing it as an opportunity rather than a challenge. Many of us approach follow-ups as something to be feared, something that involves rejection or conflict. But in reality, follow-ups are an opportunity for connection, clarification, and progress. Whether you're waiting for a response to a job application, a request for help, or an invitation to collaborate, a follow-up allows you to reassert your interest and remind the other party that you are serious about moving forward. It's a chance to re-engage with the process, and sometimes it's the very nudge that others need to take the next step. This opportunity also extends beyond professional interactions. If you're seeking support or guidance from a mentor or a friend, a follow-up shows your continued commitment to growth. It also signals that you value the relationship enough to keep the conversation going, to stay engaged, and to ensure that important matters are not forgotten. People appreciate it when you follow up, because it shows that you are proactive and respectful of their time. It can actually help deepen your relationships, because it shows that you care about maintaining the connection. Another crucial point when following up is to remain patient and understanding. There may be times when the person you are reaching out to is simply too busy to respond immediately, and this is not a reflection of your worth or the importance of your request. Rather than becoming discouraged or frustrated by a lack of response, practice patience. Understand that people have varying priorities, and your request might not be at the top of their list. This is where a thoughtful follow-up becomes even more powerful. It serves as a gentle reminder of your initial ask, without pressure or haste, allowing the person to take action when they are able. The timing of your follow-up is equally important. While it's essential to stay proactive, it's also crucial to avoid being overly persistent. A follow-up too soon can feel pushy or impatient, while a follow-up that's too late might seem disorganized or indifferent. The key is to strike a balance, give the person enough time to respond, while still showing that you're eager to move forward. In many cases, a follow-up after a week or two is perfectly appropriate, depending on the nature of the request. It's important to assess the situation and consider how much time is reasonable, based on the urgency of your ask,
and the context of your relationship. When you do follow up, ensure that your message is polite and respectful. Avoid sounding entitled or frustrated. Express gratitude for the person's time, even if the response is delayed. Acknowledge their busy schedule and thank them for their consideration. This shows maturity and professionalism, and it encourages a positive response. By keeping your tone warm, considerate and patient, you create an environment where the other person is more likely to engage positively with you. It's also important to remember that a follow-up doesn't always mean that you will get the outcome you desire, and that's okay. Sometimes the response will still be negative, or the situation might not evolve in the way you hoped. However, this does not diminish the value of following up. Every interaction, every follow-up, is an opportunity to learn, refine your approach, and grow. Even if the outcome isn't what you envisioned, you are building a track record of professionalism, persistence, and respect. In conclusion, following up politely without fear or hesitation is a skill that can significantly impact your ability to succeed and build meaningful relationships. It requires confidence, patience, and emotional maturity to engage with others in a respectful, proactive manner, even when the response isn't immediate or favorable. By embracing the opportunity to follow up, rather than fearing it, you set yourself apart as someone who is serious, reliable, and committed to achieving your goals. Ultimately, your willingness to follow up shows that you understand the value of persistence and the power of keeping the conversation alive. This is how you build momentum, create lasting connections, and position yourself for success in any endeavor.
Chapter 10. Handle rejection by learning and asking again stronger. Rejection is one of the hardest things to deal with in life, and it's a universal experience. No one, no matter how successful or confident they seem, is immune to it. At some point, everyone faces rejection, whether it's in the form of a failed job interview, a business proposal that gets turned down, a relationship that doesn't work out, or simply someone saying no when you hoped for a yes. Rejection stings, sometimes deeply, and it can leave us questioning our worth, our abilities, or our direction in life. But here's the thing: how we handle rejection, how we respond to it, and how we rise from it makes all the difference. Learning to handle rejection is one of the most important skills you can develop. The way you respond to rejection defines who you are, not the rejection itself. While it's normal to feel hurt, disappointed, or even angry after a rejection, how long you let those emotions linger and how you use the experience to fuel your growth is entirely up to you. In fact, rejection is often the best teacher you'll ever have. It provides feedback, sometimes brutally honest feedback, that can help you improve, grow stronger, and come back more determined. One of the first things you need to do after experiencing rejection is to acknowledge and process your feelings. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to feel frustrated or sad. These emotions are natural responses to rejection. However, it's essential that you don't let these emotions take control of you. Don't let them consume your thoughts or dictate your actions. Instead, take a moment to reflect. What exactly about the situation upset you? Was it the rejection itself, the way it was delivered, or perhaps your own expectations? Sometimes, just acknowledging the feelings and understanding the root cause can help you process and move forward with a clear mind. Once you've allowed yourself to feel the initial sting, it's time to shift your focus. Rejection is not the end of the road. In fact, it's often just a detour, a necessary course correction that leads you towards something better. Rejection is a signal that there's room for improvement, growth, and development. If you want to grow stronger, you need to approach rejection as an opportunity, not an obstacle. Take a step back and assess the situation objectively. What went wrong? Was there something you could have done differently? Was there something you could have improved upon in your approach, communication, or preparation? Don't take rejection personally. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that rejection is a reflection of who you are, or that it somehow diminishes your value. But rejection is rarely about you as a person. More often than not, it's about timing, circumstances, or compatibility. Perhaps your ideas didn't align with the person's needs or vision at that moment. Maybe the timing was off, or maybe there were external factors you couldn't control. Instead of internalizing rejection, learn to separate it from your sense of self-worth. You are not defined by a single rejection, just as you are not defined by a single success. Your value comes from your efforts, your growth, and your ability to continue moving forward. One of the most important steps in handling rejection is learning from it. Every rejection contains a lesson. Whether you receive feedback directly or not, there's always something you can take away from the experience. If the rejection is related to a job application or a business proposal, ask for feedback if possible. Constructive criticism can help you identify areas where you need to improve. Sometimes the feedback you receive might sting, but it's exactly the kind of feedback that can help you become better at what you do. Even if the rejection is not accompanied by feedback, take a moment to reflect on what you could have done differently. Could your pitch have been more compelling? Did you adequately communicate your value? Could you have approached the situation with more preparation or confidence? If there's no immediate feedback available, you can still learn from your own process. Review the steps you took, from the initial idea to the final presentation, and ask yourself where things might have gone wrong. Maybe your approach was too aggressive or not assertive enough. Maybe you missed an opportunity to build a stronger connection. Or maybe you simply didn't have enough information or research. Whatever the case may be, it's essential that you don't shy away from looking critically at your own performance. Learning from your mistakes is the key to improving and growing stronger with each rejection. Once you've identified the lessons from the rejection, it's time to ask again, stronger and wiser than before. Rejection is not the end of the line. It's a signal that you need to reassess, adapt, and try again, with more knowledge, skill, and confidence. Each rejection builds resilience, teaching you how to handle challenges with greater poise and determination. With every no, you're one step closer to the yes you want. It's important to remember that rejection doesn't mean you should abandon your goal. On the contrary, it's a sign that you need to push harder, refine your approach, and keep striving. Rejection might be discouraging, but it should not be paralyzing. There's always another chance, another opportunity. If you give up after the first or second rejection, you'll never know what could have been. You must learn to view rejection as a temporary setback, not a permanent roadblock. Just because one door closes doesn't mean that the path is closed forever. Often, rejection leads to better opportunities, or to an even stronger version of what you were trying to achieve in the first place. The key is to approach rejection with a mindset of growth. Understand that it's part of the journey towards success. No one achieves greatness without facing rejection. Every successful person has been rejected countless times. What sets them apart is their ability to bounce back, to keep going, and to keep improving after each rejection. Rejection is not a sign that you're not good enough. It's simply an indication that you need to refine your approach and come back stronger. One of the most important lessons in handling rejection is to maintain your self-belief. Don't let a single rejection, or even multiple rejections, make you doubt your abilities. The only true failure comes when you stop trying. As long as you keep moving forward,
As long as you keep learning from each experience, you are making progress. Believe in your ability to improve, grow, and succeed. Rejection is not the end, it's just a part of the process. With each rejection, you are becoming more resilient, more capable, and more ready for the success that lies ahead. The art of handling rejection is not about avoiding the pain of being turned down. It's about how you use that pain to fuel your next attempt. Don't let the fear of rejection hold you back. Embrace it as an opportunity for growth. Learn from it, improve upon it, and then go back out there stronger, more determined, and better prepared. Success is not determined by how many times you're rejected. It's determined by how many times you're willing to get back up and keep going, no matter the setbacks. In conclusion, rejection is a natural part of the process of achieving your goals, and it's something everyone experiences at some point. But it's how you handle rejection that will define your success. Don't let rejection deter you. Learn from it, grow stronger, and ask again with greater confidence. The more you embrace rejection as part of the journey, the more resilient, focused, and unstoppable you will become. With each rejection, you are one step closer to the success you desire, so don't let it stop you. Keep going and keep growing.
Chapter 11. Visualize success before you ask and take bold action. Visualizing success before taking action is not just a motivational tactic, it's a powerful practice rooted in the psychology of achievement. It's the ability to see your desired outcome before you make a single move, and it plays a critical role in shaping your actions, decisions, and mindset. Success starts in the mind. Every action, no matter how small, begins with the thought that it's possible, that it's achievable, and that you deserve it. Think of visualization as the process of mentally rehearsing the outcome you want before you make the first move. This mental rehearsal isn't just wishful thinking, it's a strategic tool that aligns your subconscious mind with your conscious desires. By visualizing success, you're not only preparing yourself to handle the challenges that come with your goals, but also giving your brain the green light to pursue them. This creates a powerful momentum toward your desires, giving you clarity and conviction in your actions. When you visualize success, you don't just imagine the end result, you see the journey that leads up to it. You see yourself taking the steps, making the decisions, and overcoming the challenges along the way. In doing so, you condition yourself to take those actions in real life. Your mind doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined event and one that actually happens. This means that by imagining success, you are training yourself to perform at a higher level, reinforcing the belief that you can succeed before you even attempt it. Visualization also works by boosting your confidence. When you consistently imagine yourself achieving your goals, you create a mental image of yourself as someone who is capable of success. This belief then translates into your real-world actions. If you see yourself as someone who has already succeeded, you will naturally take bolder, more confident steps. This self-assurance feeds into your actions, pushing you to take risks and face challenges head-on, which ultimately brings you closer to your goal. However, visualization alone isn't enough. It's a tool, not a guarantee. You can picture success all you want, but if you don't take the bold action necessary to make it happen, it will remain just a picture in your mind. Bold action is what bridges the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. It's the moment you decide that success is not just a possibility, but a reality that you are going to actively pursue. Bold action means stepping outside your comfort zone. It means making decisions that push you to grow and evolve. Success rarely happens without moments of discomfort, uncertainty, or even fear. But it's those moments that define you. The ability to move forward despite fear, uncertainty, or doubt
is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who simply dream them. Bold action isn't about being fearless. It's about acknowledging the fear, accepting it, and then proceeding anyway. It's about making the decision that your desire for success outweighs your fear of failure. Taking bold action also requires commitment. It's not enough to be excited about the idea of success. You must be willing to invest the time, energy, and resources needed to make it happen. Commitment means showing up day after day, even when it's hard. It means staying focused and not letting distractions derail you. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well, but true commitment is about pushing forward when obstacles arise. One of the most critical aspects of bold action is that it forces you to confront your limiting beliefs. We all have beliefs that hold us back in some way, beliefs about what we're capable of, what we deserve, or what's possible. These beliefs often operate below the surface, influencing our decisions and behaviors without us even realizing it. Bold action forces you to challenge those beliefs and take action despite them. Every time you push yourself to take a step toward your goal, you're proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. With each small victory, you begin to dismantle those limiting beliefs and replace them with ones that support your growth. Visualization and bold action work hand in hand. Without visualization, your actions might be scattered or aimless. You may be putting in the effort, but without a clear sense of direction, you risk becoming disheartened or losing focus. On the other hand, bold action brings the vision to life. It transforms your dreams from mere ideas into tangible results. When you visualize success, you prepare yourself mentally to take the necessary steps, and when you take bold action, you bring that vision into reality. It's also important to note that the journey from visualization to action isn't always linear. There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments where it feels like you're not making progress. During these times, your visualization practice becomes even more critical. It's in these moments of doubt that you need to return to your vision and remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Your visualization serves as both motivation and reassurance during difficult times. It gives you something to hold on to, something to keep you moving forward when the road gets tough. Taking bold action also means being willing to adjust your approach when necessary. While you should always have a clear vision of your goal, you must also be flexible in how you get there. Sometimes, things won't go as planned, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep moving forward, even if it means taking a detour or trying something new. Bold action isn't just about being decisive, it's also about being resilient and adaptable in the face of challenges. At the same time, visualization can serve as a form of preparation for those challenges. By visualizing success, you not only see the smooth path, but also anticipate the obstacles you might face. This mental preparation helps you remain calm and focused when things don't go as planned. You've already mentally rehearsed the difficulties and seen yourself overcoming them, which makes it easier to take the necessary steps in reality. The key is consistency. The more consistently you visualize success, the more naturally bold action will become. It's easy to doubt yourself when you're only intermittently taking action or when you're not fully committed to your vision. However, when you combine consistent visualization with consistent action, you start to create momentum. This momentum fuels your belief in yourself and in your ability to succeed. Taking bold action doesn't mean that you need to take huge risks or make drastic moves. Bold action can be as simple as taking the first step, making that phone call, sending that email, or having that conversation. It's about making progress, no matter how small, and staying committed to the process.
Each small action you take builds on the last, and over time, they compound to bring you closer to your goal. Ultimately, success is a combination of mental clarity and physical action. It's about aligning your mindset with your actions so that every decision, every move, and every step you take is in service of your vision. Visualization helps you see the possibilities and prepare your mind, while bold action transforms those possibilities into reality. The more you visualize success and take bold action, the more confident and capable you will become. In summary, visualization and bold action are the cornerstones of success. By visualizing success, you align your mind with your goals, prepare yourself mentally, and boost your confidence. By taking bold action, you bring your vision to life, push past your fears, and overcome the obstacles in your path. Success is not an accident. It's a product of clear vision, consistent action, and an unwavering commitment to your goals. Every time you visualize success and take bold action, you move closer to the life you desire. Keep the vision clear, take the action, and trust the process.
Chapter 12. Ask the right people who can actually say yes. When you're navigating the process of asking for something important, whether it's a business opportunity, a favor, or a partnership, it's critical to ensure that you're asking the right people. Asking the wrong person, no matter how well crafted your request is, can lead to unnecessary frustration, wasted time, and missed opportunities. This is because not everyone has the power, authority, or inclination to say yes to your request. To achieve the results you desire, you must be strategic about who you ask. The first step in this process is identifying the people who have the ability to make a decision. It might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people fail to consider this basic element. If you want something, whether it's funding, permission, or collaboration, asking the right person means targeting someone with the power to provide it. For example, if you're seeking a job, you wouldn't ask your friend's cousin who has no hiring authority. Instead, you'd reach out to the hiring manager or someone directly involved in the recruitment process. Similarly, if you're negotiating a business deal, your best bet is to engage with decision makers within the company, not entry-level employees or those without the mandate to finalize agreements. When you ask the right people, you increase your chances of success. These individuals are not only capable of saying yes, but they also understand the value of your request and the impact it can have. That understanding is essential because it allows for a more meaningful and productive conversation. You're not wasting time convincing someone who doesn't have the influence to help you. Instead, you're engaging with someone who can see the merits of your request and is in a position to support you. In addition to the power and authority to say yes, it's also essential to consider the alignment of interests. Asking the right person goes beyond their role or position. It also involves asking someone who has a vested interest in the outcome of your request. For example, if you're seeking funding for a project, you want to approach someone whose values align with your goals. A venture capitalist interested in sustainable and ethical businesses will be far more inclined to support your eco-friendly startup than someone whose portfolio is focused solely on tech companies. If your interests are aligned, the conversation will flow more smoothly, and both parties will see the potential for a mutually beneficial relationship. But how do you identify the right people? It starts with understanding the dynamics of the situation, who holds the power to make decisions, and who benefits from the success of your request. This requires a bit of research and a strategic approach to networking. In the business world, for instance, knowing the organizational structure is essential. Who is the gatekeeper? Who can influence the decision-making process?
By understanding the roles and responsibilities within an organization, you can identify the individuals who are most likely to say yes to your request. Once you've identified the right people, it's time to prepare your approach. The right person is more likely to say yes when your request is clear, concise, and well thought out. This means doing your homework and understanding what the person values, what they're looking for, and how you can present your request in a way that aligns with their goals and objectives. For example, if you're asking for funding, it's crucial to present a clear business plan that demonstrates the potential for return on investment. You should also be prepared to explain why your project aligns with the person's priorities and how it benefits them in the long run. The right person is also someone who is open to hearing your request. No one wants to be bombarded with requests all the time, so it's essential to consider the context in which you're making your ask. Are you catching them at a time when they are receptive to new ideas? Have you taken the time to build a rapport with them so they are more likely to listen to you? Asking the right person isn't just about who they are, it's also about timing and relationship building. People are more likely to say yes to those they trust, respect, and feel a connection with. By establishing a relationship first, you lay the groundwork for a more productive and successful conversation. When making your request, keep in mind that the right person is often someone who values clarity and simplicity. People are busy, and their time is valuable, so the more straightforward and focused your request is, the better. Avoid overloading them with unnecessary information or convoluted explanations. Instead, get to the point quickly and make it clear what you're asking for, why it's important, and how it can benefit them or their organization. Being direct and clear will increase your chances of receiving a positive response. Another critical factor to consider is that the right person is someone who can see the potential for a win-win situation. People are more inclined to say yes when they understand how their involvement in your request will bring them value as well. This is why it's so important to frame your ask in a way that highlights the mutual benefits. When you present a request as an opportunity for both parties to gain something valuable, it becomes much more compelling. The right person will see the value in your proposal, not just for you but for themselves, which makes it easier for them to say yes. It's also essential to approach the right people with respect and professionalism. Asking for something from someone can put you in a vulnerable position, but maintaining your dignity and treating the person with respect will help ensure that your request is met with openness rather than resistance. Always remember that the right person is more likely to say yes to someone who demonstrates maturity, integrity, and professionalism in their approach. This is particularly important when making requests that may involve a significant investment of time or resources. When you show that you're serious, committed, and capable, you increase your credibility and improve the chances of a positive response. Another key consideration when asking the right people is the ability to handle rejection. Not every person will be able or willing to say yes, and that's okay. Rejection is a part of life, and it's essential to develop resilience in the face of it. However, when you're asking the right people, rejection doesn't necessarily mean failure. Instead, it's an opportunity to learn and grow. If the person is unable to say yes, it might be helpful to ask for feedback on why they couldn't fulfill your request. This feedback can help you refine your approach and better understand what's needed to get a yes in the future. In the end, asking the right people is about being strategic, respectful, and clear. It's about targeting individuals who have the authority, interest, and capacity to help you achieve your goals. It's about knowing that your success often depends on who you ask and how you ask them. By identifying the right people, understanding their interests, and framing your request in a way that highlights mutual benefit,
you increase the likelihood of a positive response. And when you do encounter rejection, remember that it's not a reflection of your worth or value, it's simply a part of the process. Keep refining your approach, stay focused, and keep asking the right people, because each yes brings you one step closer to your goal.
Chapter 13. Know your worth and never beg for approval. Knowing your worth is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. When you understand and accept your value, you position yourself to make decisions that honor your capabilities, dreams, and aspirations. Many people spend their lives looking for validation from others, seeking approval from those around them to feel worthy or validated. But when you come to truly recognize your worth, you stop begging for approval, and instead, you begin to lead a life rooted in self-respect, confidence, and authenticity. This is the foundation upon which you build your strength and success. When you look at the journey of personal growth and success, one common theme stands out. Those who achieve greatness are often those who refuse to seek approval from others. They know what they are capable of, and they understand that their worth does not come from the opinions or judgments of other people. Whether you're working on a personal project, pursuing a career, or simply trying to improve yourself, knowing your worth can be the difference between constant self-doubt and the relentless drive to move forward and succeed. A big part of knowing your worth is recognizing your unique strengths. Everyone has something valuable to offer, and no two individuals are exactly the same. Your talents, skills, experiences, and perspectives all contribute to your personal worth. The more you can embrace and nurture these qualities, the more you will see your potential expand. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others, but comparison only takes away from the greatness that resides within you. Instead of focusing on what others are doing, direct your energy toward understanding and developing your own potential. You don't need to measure your success by anyone else's standards, because your path is uniquely your own. In addition to embracing your strengths, knowing your worth means acknowledging your weaknesses as well. This doesn't mean you should fixate on your flaws or use them as a reason to hold yourself back. Instead, recognizing your weaknesses allows you to take proactive steps to improve them. It's about being honest with yourself and understanding that growth comes from acknowledging both your strengths and areas for improvement. When you stop hiding from your shortcomings and face them head-on, you not only improve as a person, but you also demonstrate confidence and courage. By actively working on yourself, you communicate that you know your worth, not just when you're at your best, but also when you're facing challenges. The importance of self-worth extends beyond your own internal sense of confidence. It influences how you interact with the world around you. When you know your value, you stop tolerating situations or people that don't align with your goals or respect your boundaries. You begin to make choices that honor who you are and what you deserve. This can be seen in the relationships you choose to invest in, the opportunities you pursue, and the way you carry yourself in every situation. If you constantly seek validation from others, you will find yourself in unhealthy relationships, environments, and situations that drain you rather than build you up. But when you know your worth, you set clear boundaries and only allow the people and experiences that support your growth into your life. Another critical element of knowing your worth is the ability to say no when necessary. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear rejection or disapproval. However, saying yes to everything and everyone often leads to burnout, resentment, and a lack of fulfillment. By learning to say no when something doesn't align with your values or goals, you demonstrate self-respect. You are prioritizing your time, energy, and well-being. Saying no doesn't mean you're being rude or unkind.
It simply means you are taking control of your life and making decisions that serve your highest good. Knowing your worth also means trusting your instincts and making decisions based on your own inner guidance. Too often, people second-guess themselves, seeking approval or validation from others before they make a move. This leads to indecision, self-doubt, and missed opportunities. When you understand your value, you trust that your judgment is sound and that your intuition will guide you in the right direction. You stop looking to others for permission and instead take action based on your own convictions. This doesn't mean you should be reckless or ignore valuable advice, but it does mean that you take full responsibility for your own decisions and outcomes. One of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life is to stop begging for approval from others. This doesn't mean you should never seek feedback or constructive criticism. It simply means that you no longer place your worth in the hands of others. When you live your life constantly seeking approval, you give others the power to determine your sense of value. This is a dangerous place to be because no one has the right to define your worth except for you. You are the one who decides how valuable you are, and this comes from within. This shift in mindset has profound implications for your personal and professional life. When you stop seeking validation from others, you free yourself to pursue your goals and dreams without the fear of judgment. You stop holding yourself back because of the fear that others might not approve of your choices. You begin to trust your vision and pursue what truly matters to you, regardless of what others think. In doing so, you create the life you want, one that reflects your true potential and aligns with your deepest desires. It's also important to understand that rejection and criticism are part of the journey, and they don't diminish your worth. Every person who has achieved anything significant has faced rejection at some point. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is their ability to handle rejection with grace and resilience. Instead of viewing rejection as a personal failure, use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Keep moving forward, knowing that each step brings you closer to your goal. Rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a part of the process of achieving success. When you stop begging for approval and start acknowledging your own worth, you unlock your true potential. You no longer base your decisions on what others think or seek validation from external sources. You become empowered to pursue your dreams and goals without hesitation. This mindset shift will allow you to achieve things you never thought possible, because you'll no longer be held back by fear or self-doubt. Knowing your worth also means embracing your achievements, no matter how big or small. Too often, people downplay their accomplishments, dismissing them as insignificant or unworthy of recognition. However, every achievement is a testament to your strength, dedication, and ability to overcome challenges. Recognizing and celebrating your successes helps you build a positive self-image and strengthens your belief in your abilities. By acknowledging your accomplishments, you reinforce the message that you are worthy of success and deserving of the good things that come your way. Ultimately, knowing your worth is about having the courage to be yourself without apology or compromise. It's about understanding that you are enough as you are and that your value is inherent and unchanging. When you stop begging for approval and start embracing your worth, you step into your power. You begin to make decisions that are aligned with your true self, and you create a life that reflects your authentic desires. This is where true success begins, when you believe in your own worth and take bold action toward the life you want to create.
Chapter 14. Expect good outcomes instead of fearing worst-case scenarios. The way we perceive the world shapes how we experience it. Our thoughts, whether consciously or unconsciously, influence our actions, decisions, and ultimately,
our outcomes. If you are constantly consumed by fear and anticipate the worst possible scenarios, you are not only setting yourself up for unnecessary stress, but also limiting your potential. On the other hand, when you expect good outcomes, you align yourself with positivity, open doors to new possibilities, and cultivate the resilience necessary to face any challenges head-on. The mindset you adopt in any situation has the power to either propel you towards success or hold you back from achieving your fullest potential. Fear of the worst-case scenario is a natural part of being human. It's a survival mechanism that helps us prepare for potential dangers. But too often, we allow that natural instinct to spiral into excessive worry and anxiety, imagining catastrophes that are unlikely to happen. This kind of thinking keeps us trapped in a state of paralysis, where we avoid taking risks or pursuing opportunities because we're consumed by the fear of failure. While it's important to acknowledge potential risks and be prepared for challenges, dwelling on the worst-case scenario can prevent you from seeing the opportunities and rewards that lie ahead. Imagine stepping into a new situation, whether it's starting a new project, making a big decision, or pursuing a personal goal. Most people's first instinct is to think about all the things that could go wrong. What if I fail? What if people criticize me? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts can be paralyzing, and they often lead to inaction or self-doubt. The problem with this kind of thinking is that it limits your ability to see potential success. If you're fixated on failure, you may not even take the first step, and in doing so, you deny yourself the chance to grow, learn, and achieve something meaningful. Instead of focusing on the worst-case scenario, shift your mindset to expect good outcomes. This doesn't mean ignoring risks or being unrealistic about challenges. It simply means approaching every situation with the belief that things will work out, that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way, and that there's always something positive to be gained, even in the face of adversity. This mindset doesn't guarantee that every outcome will be perfect, but it allows you to approach challenges with optimism and confidence, making it easier to overcome obstacles when they arise. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate this mindset is through visualization. Before taking action, visualize yourself succeeding. Imagine the steps you will take, the effort you will put in, and the positive outcomes that will result from your hard work. This simple practice helps you feel more confident and prepared for whatever lies ahead. Visualization is not about wishing for success without effort, but about conditioning your mind to expect and attract positive results. By seeing yourself succeed in your mind's eye, you create a mental blueprint that guides your actions and decisions, making success feel more achievable and less daunting. The key here is to replace the tendency to catastrophize with a more balanced and optimistic approach. Recognizing that things may not always go according to plan, but also knowing that you are resilient and capable of adjusting along the way, creates a sense of empowerment. When you expect good outcomes, you act with confidence, make decisions more easily, and are more likely to take bold, decisive action. On the contrary, when you are afraid of failure, you become paralyzed by doubt, and that fear prevents you from stepping forward and embracing new opportunities. It's also important to recognize that expecting good outcomes doesn't mean being naive or ignoring reality. Life is full of uncertainties, and things don't always unfold as we hope. However, by adopting an optimistic outlook, you open yourself to the possibility that things will go right. And even when they don't, you'll have the mental fortitude to handle the setbacks. This ability to bounce back from adversity, to learn from failure, and keep moving forward is what ultimately leads to success in any area of life. Expecting good outcomes is also a reflection of how you value yourself.
When you expect positive results, you are affirming to yourself that you deserve success and that you are capable of achieving it. This belief in yourself is crucial because it directly impacts your self-esteem and confidence. If you continually tell yourself that things will go wrong, you begin to doubt your abilities, and that self-doubt becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you expect success, you align your actions with that belief, and that energy propels you toward the outcomes you desire. Let's take a look at how this mindset can apply to your daily life. Consider a project at work, a personal goal, or a new relationship. If your first thought is "this is going to be too difficult," or "I'm not good enough to succeed," you're setting yourself up for failure before you even begin. But if you approach the situation with the belief that you have the skills, resources, and ability to make things work, you approach it with a much stronger sense of purpose and determination. When you believe in positive outcomes, you're more likely to persevere through challenges, seek solutions instead of focusing on problems, and remain resilient in the face of adversity. The power of expecting good outcomes extends beyond just believing in success. It also involves taking consistent, purposeful action. When you expect positive results, you make decisions with conviction and trust in the process. You're more likely to take risks, try new things, and pursue opportunities because you believe that the effort you put in will pay off. On the other hand, when you fear the worst, you hesitate, procrastinate, or avoid taking any action at all. This fear of failure can paralyze you, leaving you stuck in a state of inaction. Expecting good outcomes propels you forward and gives you the energy and drive to move through challenges with ease. It's also crucial to understand that setbacks and obstacles are part of the journey, and they don't diminish the value of your efforts. Life is not linear, and progress is rarely a straight path. However, expecting good outcomes means understanding that even in difficult times, there is always an opportunity to learn and grow. When you encounter challenges, you will be better equipped to handle them because you've conditioned yourself to expect positive outcomes. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, you will see them as stepping stones that bring you closer to your goals. Another powerful aspect of expecting good outcomes is that it allows you to stay focused on the present moment. Fear of the worst often stems from imagining all the things that could go wrong in the future. This kind of thinking takes you out of the present and into a state of worry and anxiety. But when you expect good things to happen, you are able to stay present and focus on what you can control right now. This shift in perspective helps you maintain a sense of calm and clarity, which allows you to make better decisions and take more effective action. The process of shifting your mindset from fear to optimism is not always easy, especially if you've been conditioned to think negatively or if you've experienced significant setbacks in the past, but it is a skill that can be developed with practice. Start by paying attention to your thoughts and noticing when negative or fearful thinking arises. Challenge those thoughts by asking yourself, what is the best case scenario, or what if this goes better than I expected? Reframing your thinking in this way can help you break free from the grip of fear and begin to expect positive outcomes. Another powerful tool is gratitude. When you practice gratitude, you shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right. Gratitude helps you see the abundance in your life, which naturally encourages you to expect good things to continue unfolding. When you are grateful for what you have and the opportunities in front of you, you naturally align yourself with positive outcomes. This practice strengthens your belief in your own ability to succeed and nurtures a mindset that is open to growth, learning, and achievement.
In the end, expecting good outcomes is not about being unrealistic or ignoring challenges. It's about cultivating a mindset that is open to success, willing to take risks, and capable of handling setbacks with resilience. It's about believing that the world is filled with opportunities, and that with effort, determination, and the right mindset, good things will come. When you approach life with this positive outlook, you unlock your potential and create a path towards success that is rooted in confidence, optimism, and a deep trust in yourself. By expecting good outcomes, you give yourself the freedom to thrive, no matter the challenges that come your way.
Chapter 15. Ask with gratitude and show respect for their time. In life, the way we approach others, especially when we need their help or support, can have a significant impact on the outcome of our requests. The power of asking is not merely in the words we use, but in the attitude and mindset we bring to the situation. When we approach others with genuine gratitude and respect for their time, we open doors that might otherwise remain closed. People are more likely to respond positively when they feel valued, respected, and appreciated. The energy we put out into the world has a ripple effect, and the way we ask for help, advice, or support can shape the responses we receive. Asking with gratitude is not about being overly deferential or subservient, but rather about recognizing the value that the other person brings to the table. It's about acknowledging that their time, energy, and expertise are precious, and that we don't take them for granted. This simple act of recognizing the worth of another person can create an atmosphere of mutual respect, which makes people more inclined to assist us. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we have in building strong, meaningful relationships. When we express gratitude, we convey that we appreciate the other person's contributions, whether big or small. This is especially important when we ask for something. A request made with genuine appreciation shows that we don't expect the other person to give without recognizing the value they provide. It's a way of saying, "I see you, I acknowledge you, and I am thankful for what you're offering." Gratitude also shifts our own mindset. When we adopt a mindset of appreciation, we approach situations with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. We recognize that we are asking because we value what the other person can offer, and we approach the situation with humility rather than entitlement. This change in attitude not only enhances our relationships, but also helps us grow as individuals. We begin to see the value in every interaction, every exchange, and every opportunity to learn from others. In addition to gratitude, showing respect for the other person's time is equally important. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, and it is something that cannot be replenished once it is spent. When we ask someone for their time, we must recognize that they are making a choice to invest that time in us. They could be doing anything else, but they have chosen to help us, and this decision should be acknowledged and respected. Respect for someone's time is not just about being polite or courteous. It's about recognizing the commitment they are making by choosing to engage with us. It's about being clear, concise, and purposeful in our requests, ensuring that we are not wasting their time or asking for more than they can reasonably give. This is where being mindful of how we ask becomes crucial. When you ask for help or advice, it's important to be clear about what you need and why you are asking for it. People appreciate when we respect their time by being specific about our requests. Instead of making vague or open-ended demands, we should aim to be as precise as possible. Instead of saying, "Can you help me with this?" a more effective approach might be, "Could you help me by reviewing this report for feedback on X and Y?" When we are specific, we make it easier for others to understand exactly what we are asking for and how they can contribute. This not only shows respect for their time, but also increases the likelihood that we will get the help we need. In addition to being specific, we should always express appreciation for the person's time after the interaction. Once they have helped us, taking a moment to thank them sincerely can go a long way in maintaining a positive relationship. A simple heartfelt thank you lets the other person know that we don't take their time for granted and that we genuinely appreciate the effort they've put into assisting us. One of the most effective ways to demonstrate respect for someone's time is by being prepared. When we ask for someone's help, we should make sure we have done the necessary work on our end. This means having a clear understanding of the situation, gathering relevant information, and making sure that we are not asking for help because of a lack of effort or preparation on our part. When we come prepared, we show that we value the person's time and that we are not expecting them to do the work for us. Preparation also helps us ask the right questions. Rather than bombarding the person with a series of vague or unclear questions, we should aim to ask focused, thoughtful questions that will help us get the answers we need. This shows that we respect their expertise and that we are not simply looking for someone to solve our problems for us. It demonstrates that we are capable of taking responsibility for our own progress, but that we value their insights to help us move forward. At the same time, it's important to be mindful of the timing of our requests. Everyone has their own schedule, and it's essential to recognize when the person may or may not be available to help us. If you are reaching out to someone for assistance, it's courteous to ask if it's a good time to talk or if they are available to meet. A little consideration in this regard shows that you respect their time and that you are willing to be flexible in working with their schedule. This is particularly important in professional settings, where the person you are asking for help may have many other responsibilities and commitments. In these situations, it's especially important to respect their time by being as concise as possible and not overburdening them with unnecessary details. When you approach someone with this level of respect, you increase the likelihood that they will want to help you again in the future. On the other hand, if you constantly ask for help without consideration for their time, you risk damaging the relationship and becoming a burden rather than a colleague or friend. Gratitude and respect are essential elements in every successful request, but there's also an element of reciprocity. Building relationships based on mutual respect means that we are not just taking from others, but also giving in return. While we may ask for help, advice or support, we must also be willing to offer something in return. This doesn't mean that we need to make a direct exchange for every favor, but rather that we should be mindful of the ways in which we can contribute to others. When we show that we are willing to give as well as receive, we create a balanced, harmonious relationship based on mutual respect. This doesn't mean that you need to always give something tangible in return. Sometimes, simply offering your assistance, expressing gratitude or providing support when needed can be just as valuable. People appreciate knowing that they are not alone in their endeavors and that their help has made a meaningful impact. When you demonstrate gratitude and respect by offering support, you create a positive feedback loop that strengthens your connections with others. The way we ask, the way we show gratitude, and the way we respect others' time can have a profound effect on the quality of our relationships and the outcomes we achieve. It's not just about asking for something, it's about cultivating a mindset that acknowledges the value of others, respects their contributions, and shows genuine appreciation for their support. By adopting this mindset, we not only increase our chances of receiving help, but also build lasting positive relationships that can lead to even greater success in the future. Ultimately, asking with gratitude and respect is a practice that benefits both you and the person you are asking. It allows you to approach others in a way that fosters connection, trust, and mutual respect.
When you show gratitude and respect for someone's time, you communicate that you value them not just for what they can do for you, but for who they are. And this, more than anything, is the foundation of any meaningful and successful relationship.
Chapter 16. Negotiate wisely by understanding what they truly need. Negotiation is a skill that transcends mere transactional exchanges. It's about understanding the underlying needs, desires, and motivations of both parties involved. In any negotiation, the ultimate goal is not simply to get what you want, but to create an outcome that benefits all sides, a win-win situation where both individuals feel heard, respected, and satisfied. This process requires a deep level of empathy and a genuine curiosity to understand what the other party truly values and needs. It's about digging beneath surface-level demands and uncovering the emotional and strategic drivers that guide decisions. When you take the time to comprehend these aspects, you position yourself to negotiate wisely and reach agreements that are sustainable, fair, and mutually advantageous. The first key to effective negotiation is the realization that your position is just one part of the equation. While your needs are important, they should not overshadow the importance of the other person's desires. Too often, people enter negotiations focused only on their own goals and fail to consider the needs of the person they're negotiating with. When you overlook the other party's perspective, you risk missing opportunities to create value for both sides. Successful negotiations are not zero-sum games where one party must lose for the other to win. They are collaborative processes where both sides contribute to finding solutions that meet the core interests of everyone involved. To begin this process of mutual understanding, it's important to ask the right questions. Rather than diving straight into making your demands known, take the time to inquire about the other person's needs, priorities, and goals. This can be done through open-ended questions that encourage conversation. For example, instead of saying, "Here's what I want," you might ask, "What is most important to you in this situation?" Or "What are the key factors that would make this agreement work for you?" These types of questions open up dialogue and create an atmosphere of mutual respect and collaboration. When you listen to their responses, it's not enough just to hear their words. You must actively listen, paying attention not only to what they're saying, but also to the underlying emotions and motivations. Often, what people express verbally is not the full picture of what they want or need. Body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions can provide critical insight into their true feelings. By being fully present in the moment and observing these cues, you can gain a deeper understanding of the other person's perspective and adjust your approach accordingly. Effective negotiators are also adept at identifying what is not being said. Sometimes, the most important aspects of a negotiation are not spoken aloud, but are instead hinted at or left unsaid. Pay attention to gaps in the conversation, hesitations, or moments of silence. These can be indicators that there is something the other person may be withholding or reluctant to discuss. A skilled negotiator will gently probe for these hidden factors, helping to bring everything into the open so that both parties can address all relevant issues. Another important consideration in negotiation is flexibility. Rigidly sticking to one's position can often result in a deadlock, especially if that position doesn't take into account the other party's needs. It's essential to approach negotiations with a flexible mindset, prepared to adjust your strategy if new information or insights arise. Flexibility doesn't mean abandoning your goals, but rather being willing to explore alternative solutions that still satisfy your key objectives. It's about finding creative ways to address both your own needs and the needs of the other party. Negotiation is rarely a one-time event. It's a process that may unfold over several discussions, with each conversation bringing new information to light. During these ongoing negotiations, it's important to build trust and maintain a positive, cooperative atmosphere. Trust is the foundation of any successful negotiation, and it's built over time through consistent actions, transparency, and mutual respect. When trust is present, both parties feel comfortable sharing their true interests and concerns, which leads to more productive and meaningful conversations. One way to build trust in negotiations is by demonstrating a willingness to be open and transparent. Rather than keeping all of your cards close to your chest, be willing to share information that can help the other party understand your perspective. Of course, this doesn't mean revealing all of your strategies or compromising your position, but showing that you are open to honest dialogue can encourage the other person to do the same. Transparency can help dispel misunderstandings and reduce the likelihood of hidden agendas undermining the process. At the same time, negotiation requires a level of assertiveness. While understanding and respecting the other person's needs is crucial, it's also important to clearly communicate your own. You cannot simply passively accept whatever is offered in the hopes of maintaining harmony. You have to assert your position and be clear about what you need in order to feel satisfied with the outcome. However, this assertiveness should be balanced with empathy and an understanding of the other party's interests. Negotiation is about striking the right balance between standing firm on your needs while remaining open to compromise. In addition to understanding the other party's needs, it's important to recognize the value of non-monetary considerations. Many negotiations are not just about financial transactions or material goods. They often involve intangible elements such as time, reputation, and emotional value. Sometimes, a small concession in one area can have a huge impact in another. For example, if you're negotiating a business deal, agreeing to a slightly longer timeline may be worth it if it means you can secure a key partnership or gain access to valuable resources. Similarly, negotiating for more flexibility in a contract might offer you long-term benefits that far outweigh the initial terms. Understanding the long-term implications of a negotiation is another key element in approaching the process wisely. It's easy to get caught up in the immediate terms and lose sight of the bigger picture. Negotiations often involve more than just the current deal. They can lay the groundwork for future collaborations, partnerships, or opportunities. When negotiating, think not only about the short-term gains, but also about how the relationship will evolve in the future. Will this agreement set the stage for future cooperation? How will your decision today impact the relationship over time? This long-term thinking helps prevent you from making decisions that could harm your reputation or your standing in the industry or community. A single win in a negotiation might seem appealing in the short term, but if it comes at the expense of building a strong, mutually beneficial relationship, it may ultimately backfire. By focusing on the long-term value of the agreement, you ensure that both parties walk away from the table with a sense of accomplishment and a solid foundation for future success. Finally, one of the most effective ways to negotiate wisely is by being patient. Patience allows you to approach the negotiation process with a level of calm and control that will give you the best chance of success. Rushing through negotiations or becoming frustrated when things don't go according to plan can lead to hasty decisions and suboptimal outcomes. Instead, take the time to carefully consider the other person's needs, the implications of each option, and the potential outcomes. When you're patient, you make better decisions and leave room for new opportunities to arise. When negotiating, the true key to success is not simply understanding your own needs, but understanding the other person's needs as well. By listening deeply, asking the right questions, and being flexible in your approach, you can craft solutions that benefit everyone involved. The ability to negotiate wisely comes from a combination of empathy, strategy, and the willingness to adapt. By focusing on building trust,
asserting your needs with clarity, and thinking long-term. You position yourself to create agreements that are not only successful, but also sustainable. And ultimately, negotiation is not just about getting what you want, it's about creating an outcome that benefits both parties and strengthens the relationship for future success.
Chapter 17. Build genuine relationships before making any big ask. Building genuine relationships is the foundation of trust, respect, and mutual support in both personal and professional settings. It's not simply about making strategic connections when you need something. It's about forming connections that are meaningful, authentic, and grounded in shared experiences and mutual interest. Too often, people approach relationships with the goal of asking for something right away, whether it's a favor, a deal, or an opportunity. However, this kind of transactional approach can backfire, leading to strained interactions and missed opportunities. The key to success lies in first building solid relationships based on authenticity, care, and understanding, before you ever think about asking for anything in return. The foundation of any relationship, whether personal or professional, is mutual respect. It's impossible to build meaningful connections without respecting the other person's boundaries, opinions, and individuality. Respect fosters trust, and trust is what allows a relationship to grow and thrive over time. If you enter a relationship with the mindset that you're only looking for something, you're not truly respecting the other person, you're using them for your own benefit. True relationships, on the other hand, are built on genuine care and a desire to connect with others on a human level. This starts with being present, listening actively, and showing a genuine interest in the other person's life and experiences. One of the most critical aspects of building a genuine relationship is taking the time to understand the other person's perspective. This means getting to know them beyond their surface-level interests or positions. It's about understanding what drives them, what challenges they're facing, and what they care most about. You can't build a true relationship if you're only interested in your own needs and desires. In contrast, when you take the time to learn about someone, listen to their concerns, and show empathy, you create a bond that goes beyond mere transactional interactions. This bond is what will allow you to ask for help or support later on, because you've established trust and demonstrated that you're not just in the relationship for personal gain. One of the most powerful ways to deepen relationships is through small, meaningful gestures of kindness and support. This doesn't always mean doing something large or dramatic. Simple acts of support, such as offering encouragement, providing a listening ear, or helping with a small task, can have a profound impact on the relationship. When you show others that you are willing to invest time and energy into supporting them without expecting anything in return, you signal that you value the relationship for what it is, not just for what it can give you. These acts of kindness create a positive cycle of generosity and mutual respect, which strengthens the relationship and makes it easier to ask for help when the time comes. Being consistent in your interactions also plays a significant role in building genuine relationships. People need to know that they can rely on you and that you're someone they can count on over time. Consistency in your words, actions, and availability shows that you are dependable and trustworthy. When people see that you're consistent in your interactions, they feel more comfortable opening up to you and letting their guard down. This consistency allows relationships to deepen and evolve naturally, rather than feeling forced or transactional. When you show up for others consistently, you're not just building a reputation of reliability, you're building a foundation that makes future requests feel more natural and less self-serving. Another key aspect of building genuine relationships is vulnerability. Vulnerability creates space for authentic connection because it shows that you're not perfect and you're not afraid to let others see your flaws and struggles. When you share your own challenges,
successes and vulnerabilities, you invite the other person to do the same. This kind of openness fosters trust and allows the relationship to flourish on a deeper level. People are far more likely to respond to your requests if they feel they truly understand who you are, what you've been through, and what you stand for. Vulnerability is the bridge that turns a surface-level acquaintance into a real, meaningful relationship. The process of building these genuine relationships is not something that happens overnight. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to show up for others consistently. However, the rewards of investing in genuine connections far outweigh the effort. When you've established strong, authentic relationships, you create a network of people who genuinely care about your success and well-being. These are the people who will support you when you need it most, not because they feel obligated, but because they believe in you and want to see you succeed. They'll be there not only to lend a hand but to cheer you on, to offer advice, and to provide encouragement when you face challenges. In any negotiation, whether it's asking for support, help, or resources, the strength of your relationship plays a pivotal role. When you've built a solid, trusting relationship with someone, your requests are more likely to be met with a positive response. People are more inclined to help those they know and trust because they feel that the relationship is mutual. When you ask for something, it's seen as a natural extension of the relationship rather than a cold, transactional demand. The other person feels valued and appreciated, and they're more willing to help you in return. However, this doesn't mean that every relationship is a one-way street. Building genuine relationships requires effort from both sides. It's important to nurture these connections continuously, not just when you need something. Even if you don't have an immediate ask, stay engaged with those you care about. Celebrate their successes, offer support when they need it, and remain genuinely interested in their well-being. By investing in the relationship without expecting anything in return, you ensure that the bond is strong enough to withstand any requests or challenges that may arise in the future. The concept of building before asking is particularly relevant in professional settings, where people often approach relationships with the mindset that they need something. Whether it's a job opportunity, a business deal, or career advice, the best way to ask for help is to first build a genuine connection. When you invest in people without expecting immediate returns, they will be far more likely to help you when you eventually make a request. This approach takes time, but it ensures that you're building lasting, meaningful connections that will serve you in both your personal and professional life. While it's essential to focus on building relationships, it's also important to recognize when it's time to make an ask. After you've invested time and energy into a relationship and you've built trust and understanding, it's only natural that you can now make a request. However, even when you do ask, it's important to do so with consideration and respect. Don't make your request seem like an obligation. Instead, approach it as an opportunity for collaboration, mutual benefit, and shared success. Frame your ask in a way that honors the relationship you've built and shows appreciation for the other person's time, effort, and support. When you ask with respect, gratitude, and clarity, you open the door for a positive response. The people you've built relationships with are far more likely to offer help because they feel valued and understood. They see your request not as a demand, but as an invitation to contribute to your success. In this way, building genuine relationships becomes a mutually rewarding process that benefits everyone involved. In the end, the foundation of any successful relationship, whether personal or professional, is authenticity. When you are authentic in your interactions, you invite others to be authentic as well. This openness and sincerity create bonds that are far stronger than any transactional relationship could ever be. By focusing on the people you care about, offering support without expectation, and showing up consistently, you build a network of genuine relationships
that will support you not only when you need something, but throughout every phase of your life. So before you make any big ask, ensure you've laid the groundwork for a genuine connection. Build trust, show respect, and invest in others without expecting immediate returns. The relationships you build today will pay dividends tomorrow, as they create a foundation of support, trust, and mutual respect that will carry you through life's challenges and successes.
Chapter 18. Stay persistent when chasing the goals you believe in. Staying persistent in the pursuit of your goals is one of the most powerful qualities you can cultivate. Persistence is not just about pushing forward through adversity, it's about unwavering determination and commitment to your dreams, regardless of the obstacles that may arise. When you truly believe in something, when you know that the goal you're chasing aligns with your purpose and vision, persistence becomes a non-negotiable trait. It's what keeps you moving forward when everything around you suggests you should quit. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. There will be times when things don't go according to plan, when progress seems slow, or when the world feels like it's working against you. In those moments, your persistence is what will keep you on track. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well, but it's the ability to continue pursuing your goals in the face of adversity that separates those who succeed from those who give up. The most successful people in any field aren't necessarily the ones who have the most talent, the best connections, or the smoothest journey. They're the ones who refuse to quit, even when things get tough. Persistence is about resilience, and resilience is built by continuing to push forward despite the setbacks. It's about refusing to allow failure to define you, knowing that each setback is simply another step towards success. This mindset is essential if you want to achieve anything significant in life. One of the key aspects of persistence is understanding that setbacks and failures are part of the journey. When things don't go as planned, it's natural to feel discouraged or frustrated. But you can't allow those feelings to take control. Instead, you have to see every challenge as an opportunity to learn and grow. Failure is not a reflection of your abilities or your worth. It's simply a stepping stone on the path to success. The more you face challenges head-on and keep moving forward, the stronger you become. Over time, you develop the mental and emotional toughness necessary to overcome any obstacle. Persistence also requires patience. Success rarely comes overnight. It's a gradual process that takes time, effort, and sustained focus. Many people give up too soon because they expect immediate results. They become frustrated when their progress is slower than expected, and as a result, they abandon their goals. But the truth is, success doesn't happen in a straight line. There will be times when progress is slow, and there will be moments when you feel like you're not getting anywhere. During these times, it's essential to stay focused on the bigger picture and trust the process. Patience doesn't mean being passive, it means continuing to take consistent action, even when the results aren't immediately apparent. The road to success is rarely easy, and staying persistent often means making sacrifices along the way. There will be times when you have to push yourself harder than you thought possible, when you have to go without things that others may take for granted. But the rewards of persistence are worth it. When you persist in the pursuit of your goals, you begin to develop a sense of confidence that comes from knowing you're capable of handling whatever life throws at you. This confidence will carry you through the toughest times and allow you to continue pushing forward, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It's also important to remember that persistence doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending that challenges don't affect you. It's okay to feel frustrated, disappointed, or uncertain along the way. These feelings are normal, and acknowledging them is part of the process.
What matters is how you respond to those feelings. Persistence doesn't mean pretending that everything is fine. It means acknowledging the difficulties you face and choosing to keep going anyway. It's about having the courage to continue even when you don't feel like it, knowing that every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. A critical component of persistence is consistency. Consistency means showing up day after day, even when you don't feel motivated or when the results aren't immediate. It's about making progress, even if that progress is small. Many people give up because they don't see fast results, but the key to achieving anything worthwhile is consistent effort over time. The more consistent you are, the more you build momentum, and momentum is a powerful force. It keeps you moving forward, even when it feels like you're not making any progress. Every small step forward adds up, and over time, these small steps create massive change. One of the most effective ways to stay persistent is to break your larger goals down into smaller, more manageable tasks. Large goals can feel overwhelming, and when you focus solely on the big picture, it's easy to become discouraged. But when you break those goals down into smaller, actionable steps, you create a clear path forward. Each small victory along the way gives you the motivation to keep going, and the process becomes much more manageable. Instead of focusing on how far you have to go, focus on the next step. This approach allows you to maintain momentum and stay committed to the process. Another essential aspect of persistence is maintaining a positive mindset. It's easy to become negative or discouraged when things aren't going as planned, but your mindset can make all the difference. When you approach challenges with a positive attitude, you're more likely to find solutions and keep moving forward. Negative thoughts and self-doubt can drain your energy and keep you stuck. But by focusing on what you can control and maintaining an optimistic outlook, you empower yourself to keep pushing forward. Even when things seem bleak, a positive mindset helps you stay focused on the end goal and reminds you that setbacks are only temporary. Persistence also means being adaptable and willing to adjust your approach when necessary. Sometimes, the path you're on may not be the right one, and you may need to make changes to your plan. Persistence doesn't mean blindly sticking to a plan that's not working. It means being flexible and finding new ways to move forward when necessary. Being persistent doesn't mean refusing to change or adapt. It means staying committed to your goal, even if the path you take changes along the way. The most persistent individuals are often the ones who have the most clarity about their why. Knowing why you're pursuing a particular goal gives you the strength to keep going when times get tough. Your why is your motivation, the reason behind your actions, and the source of your perseverance. When you're clear on why your goal matters to you, it becomes easier to stay focused and committed, no matter what obstacles arise. Your why is what gives your journey purpose, and when you have purpose, you have the fuel to keep going. Throughout the pursuit of any goal, you will encounter moments of doubt and discouragement. These moments are inevitable, and they are part of the process. However, it's in these moments that persistence becomes most important. Instead of allowing doubt to paralyze you, use it as fuel to drive you forward. Remind yourself why you started in the first place, and let that reminder push you to take the next step. Persistence is the difference between giving up and achieving your dreams. When you stay persistent, you turn every obstacle into an opportunity for growth and learning. Each challenge strengthens your resilience, and each setback provides you with valuable insights that bring you closer to your goal. Success is not a matter of luck or talent, it's about persistence. It's about continuing to push forward, day after day, even when things get difficult.
It's about refusing to quit when the going gets tough. The most successful people are not the ones who avoid challenges, but the ones who face them head-on and keep moving forward. So, if you truly believe in your goals, don't let anything stop you. Stay persistent, stay committed, and keep pushing forward. Success is within reach for those who are willing to work for it, and persistence is the key to unlocking that success.
Chapter 19. Learn from every ask, whether it succeeds or fails. When you put yourself in a position to ask for something, you are putting your desires, needs, or goals out into the world. Whether that ask succeeds or fails, each one offers you a valuable opportunity to learn, grow, and adjust your approach for the future. Asking for something, whether it's for a favor, a promotion, help, or even an investment, forces you to face rejection or acceptance head-on. It's a vulnerable position to be in, but one that can be a powerful catalyst for personal growth if you approach it with the right mindset. Often, people focus solely on the outcome of the ask, the success or failure. But there is so much more that can be gained from each interaction if you look beyond the surface. Every single request, no matter how it turns out, holds lessons that can strengthen your approach for the next time you find yourself asking. If you view every ask as an opportunity to learn rather than just a moment to either succeed or fail, you begin to approach these situations with a mindset that builds resilience, self-awareness, and skill. The first important lesson is understanding that no single ask defines you. It's easy to get caught up in the fear of rejection or the disappointment of hearing no. Rejection can sting. It can feel like a personal failure, but it is not a reflection of your worth. It's merely a moment in time, one that should not carry the weight of your self-esteem. If you view rejection as a chance to learn, you will be able to process it more healthily and constructively. This detachment from the outcome is essential for personal growth. You are not your rejections, nor are you your successes. Your true value lies in your ability to handle both gracefully and continue moving forward with purpose. For those who do succeed, the lesson becomes how to replicate that success. Success is often the result of preparation, timing, and communication. If you are fortunate enough to have your ask granted, it's vital to reflect on what led to that outcome. What was it about your approach that worked? Was it your clarity, the way you presented your request, or the way you built rapport? Success often comes with specific, repeatable actions. By understanding what contributed to the success of your ask, you build a clearer understanding of how to apply those tactics in future situations. It's about taking mental notes from what went right, not letting the success cloud your ability to improve. It's essential to approach every ask with humility, especially when things don't go as planned. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, the answer will be no, and that's okay. Instead of getting disheartened or defensive, use the opportunity to learn. Why was your request declined? Was there something you overlooked in your preparation? Did you fail to communicate effectively? Was there a lack of understanding on your part about what the person could offer or the limitations they had? This kind of self-reflection will give you clarity on areas where you can improve next time. Humility is the key to growth because it allows you to honestly evaluate yourself and your approach without taking the outcome personally. Recognizing your part in the failure gives you the power to adjust and make changes, which is the first step toward mastering the art of asking. Another important thing to realize is that rejection is often not personal. People turn down requests for reasons unrelated to your value or worth. Maybe they don't have the time, resources, or capacity to help you. It's possible they are facing their own challenges and can't take on additional obligations. It could be that they simply don't see the full picture or understand your perspective in the moment. When you receive a no, remember that it's not always a reflection of who you are or what you offer. It's simply a result of the circumstances, their perspective or limitations in that moment. This understanding can help you develop emotional resilience and prevent you from becoming discouraged. Every no can become a learning moment, an opportunity to reframe the situation and consider different approaches moving forward. Success and failure both teach us about timing. There are times when the right request is turned down simply because it wasn't the right moment. Sometimes people are not ready to hear your ask. They might be preoccupied with their own priorities or simply not in the right mindset to engage. This is where understanding the importance of timing becomes crucial. Asking for something at the right time, when the person is receptive and open, increases the chances of success. But even if the timing is off, the rejection is still valuable. It teaches you to be more patient and more aware of the context around you. Every no is a reminder that timing matters in all things, and the next time you ask, you'll likely be more attuned to when and how to approach others effectively. Sometimes, it's not about the ask at all, but about building relationships that lay the groundwork for future asks. Whether your request is granted or declined, the process of asking is part of a broader strategy of relationship building. Every interaction, every question, every time you put yourself in a vulnerable position, you are building trust and connection. Relationships are not built in a single interaction. They take time, consistency, and respect. The way you approach others, the way you communicate, and the way you ask for things all factor into the relationships you cultivate. Whether or not your ask is successful in the short term, the ongoing investment in relationship building can pay off in the future when the time is right. Equally important is understanding the concept of reciprocity. Every ask should be part of a larger give and take dynamic. When you ask, it's not just about taking, it's about what you're willing to give in return. Sometimes, the failure to get what you want is a result of not having offered enough value in return. This doesn't necessarily mean a direct exchange, but rather that you're offering respect, thoughtfulness, and generosity. If your request is denied, take the time to ask how you can support the other person or what they need. By demonstrating that you're willing to give, you establish a more solid foundation for future interactions. You are not merely asking for something, you are showing that you are a person who contributes and adds value. Success also teaches you the value of asking in the right way. When your request is granted, reflect on how you made the ask. Were you clear, concise, and respectful? Did you communicate why your request mattered and how it aligns with the values of the person you're asking? Often the way you ask makes all the difference. If you communicate effectively, express gratitude, and respect the other person's boundaries and time, you will improve the likelihood of success. And if your ask is not granted, ask for feedback. How could you have asked differently? What could you improve? This type of constructive self-assessment allows you to continually refine your approach and improve your ability to ask in a way that is respectful, effective, and likely to result in success. Learning from every ask is about more than just improving your approach to the same situation. It's about improving yourself. It's about understanding what drives you, what motivates you to make requests, and what you value in others. Each ask, whether it results in a yes or a no, reflects an opportunity for self-discovery. It's about becoming more aware of how you communicate, how you relate to others, and how you handle both success and failure. When you view every ask as a learning opportunity,
you begin to shift your mindset from focusing on the outcome to focusing on the growth that comes from the process itself. Ultimately, the key takeaway from learning from every ask is that success is not guaranteed and failure is not final. Every yes is a stepping stone toward achieving your goals, and every no is an opportunity to refine your approach and deepen your understanding. It's in the combination of successes and failures that we grow and learn to navigate the world more effectively. Each ask, no matter how it turns out, brings you one step closer to becoming more skilled, more confident, and more capable of achieving what you want in life.
Chapter 20. Train yourself daily to ask bigger and bolder. In the pursuit of success, the ability to ask, really ask, is one of the most powerful skills you can cultivate. However, too often, people limit their potential by asking too small, too safely, and too timidly. The true power of asking comes from stretching the boundaries of what you believe is possible and pushing yourself to ask bigger and bolder. When you train yourself daily to ask for more, you begin to break through self-imposed limitations, overcome fears, and tap into opportunities that would have otherwise remained out of reach. The first step in training yourself to ask bigger and bolder is recognizing that your current asks, no matter how small or modest they may seem, reflect your current level of thinking. Most people ask for what they believe they can have, not necessarily for what they deserve or what is possible for them to achieve. This mindset confines you to your current situation and keeps you in a cycle of mediocrity. To break free from this, you must challenge your own assumptions about what you are capable of asking for. You must begin to ask for things that seem outside of your comfort zone, things that stretch you, things that make you nervous but also excited. The reality is that the world doesn't reward those who ask for what they already know they can get. It rewards those who dare to ask for the impossible, who push their limits and believe that more is possible. When you ask bigger and bolder, you are signaling to yourself and to the world that you believe in your own potential, that you are not satisfied with the status quo. This mindset shift requires a commitment to growth, to stepping outside of your comfort zone, and to embracing the discomfort that comes with trying something new and audacious. It's important to understand that asking bigger doesn't mean asking recklessly or without purpose. It means setting your sights higher, believing that you deserve more, and acting with confidence. It means being strategic in your approach and being willing to take calculated risks. When you start asking for more, you begin to expand your horizons. You are no longer confined to what you think is possible based on your past experiences. Instead, you are actively reshaping your future by what you are willing to ask for. The more you ask, the better you become at asking. Just like any other skill, the act of asking improves with practice. When you ask frequently, you get better at refining your approach, learning from your mistakes, and adjusting your tactics. It's the repetition of asking that allows you to develop a level of comfort with it. Initially, you might feel uncomfortable or even embarrassed asking for more. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll find that what once felt like a bold or daring request is now second nature to you. The key is consistency, making asking for more a regular part of your life rather than something you do on rare occasions. Asking for more is not just about material things, it's about asking for the right relationships, the right opportunities, and the right support. It's about creating a vision of what you want and being unafraid to seek it out. When you ask for bigger opportunities, you challenge yourself to grow into the person who is capable of handling them. Every time you ask for something larger than your current level, you put yourself in a position to expand. You step into the person you are becoming. not just the person you are. It's about visualizing a bigger life for yourself and taking proactive steps toward making that vision a reality. A powerful shift happens when you start to ask, not just for what you want, but for what you are willing to work for. The act of asking for something big is tied to your own willingness to show up, put in the effort, and take responsibility for making it happen. It's not just about asking for the end result, it's about demonstrating through your actions that you are ready for it. When you ask bigger and bolder, you are sending a message to the universe that you are not just sitting back and waiting for things to happen, you are actively pursuing them. At the same time, it's crucial to understand that not every ask will be met with a yes. Rejection will happen. There will be moments when the things you ask for are not granted. But this is where the true power lies. Each rejection is a lesson, a chance to refine your approach and grow stronger. Every no gives you the opportunity to reassess what you are asking for, why you are asking, and how you can ask more effectively in the future. It's about building resilience in the face of disappointment and developing the grit to keep pushing forward even when things don't go your way. Each time you ask for something bigger and don't get it, you refine your strategy and come back stronger. The key is not to let rejection discourage you, but to use it as fuel to ask bigger and better next time. Another important aspect of asking bigger is the confidence that comes with it. When you train yourself to ask for more, you cultivate self-assurance and belief in your ability to achieve your goals. It's about affirming to yourself that you deserve what you are asking for and that you have the ability to make it happen. Confidence doesn't come from always getting what you want. It comes from knowing that you are capable of handling the consequences of asking. When you ask boldly, you are demonstrating that you trust yourself to navigate the ups and downs that come with the process. Part of asking bigger and bolder is understanding the value of surrounding yourself with the right people. You are not an island, and asking for help or support from others is an essential part of the process. Sometimes, the bigger ask requires collaboration. It requires leveraging the strength, skills, and resources of those around you. Asking for bigger opportunities might mean asking for mentors, partnerships, or advice from people who have already achieved what you aspire to. The power of asking becomes even stronger when you recognize the collective potential of those around you. You are not asking alone, you are asking in community, and that community can be the difference between success and failure. As you begin to train yourself to ask bigger, you will notice changes in how you perceive yourself. Asking boldly is a reflection of your belief in your own worth and your willingness to push past self-doubt. It's about challenging the narratives that have held you back and rewriting the story you tell yourself about what you deserve. Each time you make a bigger ask, you are reinforcing the idea that you are capable of achieving greatness. This is not just a practice in asking for things, it's a practice in developing your own self-esteem, confidence, and personal power. The most important aspect of asking bigger and bolder is that it requires you to step out of your comfort zone. Growth happens when you push beyond what feels familiar. When you stretch your limits and ask for more than you think you deserve, you tap into an energy that can propel you forward in unexpected ways. The more you practice this, the more you'll discover that your limits are not as fixed as you once thought. By continually challenging yourself to ask for more, you begin to expand your capacity for success. As you build the muscle of asking bigger and bolder, you will notice that opportunities will begin to flow to you more freely. The world responds to your confidence and your willingness to push boundaries. People recognize your determination, your clarity, and your ability